Camera on? Camera's not on. That's twice in a row today. My lights aren't even on. Hello everybody, how you doing? Professional streamer here. Professional streamer 10:30. What's even happening? How's it going, folks? It's bloody hot, isn't it? It's very, very roasting. Welcome to twitch.tv/1030. I'm 1030 and you're watching me on the internet. Are yous alright? Are yous well? What's everybody up to? Feels like a Friday night for some reason, and it isn't a Friday night. It is a Thursday night, but it feels a bit like a Friday night, doesn't it? I believe I should have just been bubble blasted there. I wonder why I wasn't. Bubble blasted. I'm expecting to be bubble blasted any second, but I think there might be a delay on it. There we are. Unfortunately, because I've got a fan on just out of shot, the bubbles basically they haven't touched my face at all, and I'm so hot just now I wouldn't actually mind some bubbles touching my face, but I think there's a second one coming any second. Lime Green Lemon, thank you very much for the sub. And Funko Albert, how you doing? Jeff sends his best. Tell him that I'm going to stab him in the neck. Funko Albert and Lime Green Lemon, thank you very much for subbing and welcome in. Don't qualify it by saying in a video game or anything like that, just be like literally. Glaswegian, how you doing? Carivore, how you doing? Funkyman316. Lama-chan, how's it going? Lama-chan, can I just say I very much enjoyed your stream. And all that was just all good, wasn't it, man? Blaketown, how's it going? Carivore, left him on device. Nora's Day, Super Sausage Fish. Listen, everybody, Listen, everybody, guess what I have arranged? Do you want to see it? I've arranged a full actual stream. I've planned this stream more than I planned today's stream. Look at this. That's right, everybody. That was a live feed from the loft, mate. We're going up the loft, mate. So I'm looking forward to that. Up the loft, we will need this screwdriver. We will need this screwdriver here. In addition, we will need this PlayStation 1. So, if you're going to follow along at home, please get your PlayStation 1s and your screwdrivers ready. And please get a responsible adult as well, because we might be using scissors. I've not streamed for the loft in about 100 years, so I don't know about audio. Might be a pain in the arse. Fucking cameras and everything and all the stuff. It's hard as. So, but I'm going to do it because I would like to probably permanently break my PlayStation. But hopefully not break it. Hopefully make it better. Because everybody, right? Back in the day, because I'm about 80 years old, right? So back in the day, see, instead of downloading your computer games, they would come on compact discs, right? And you put them in the PlayStation, and the PlayStation would read the disc, and then it would load your game, and then you would be playing your game, and then everything would be brilliant. You'd be playing Crash Bandicoot and all that sort of stuff. However, the PlayStation, and this is my original childhood PlayStation, is very old now, right? And so it's all just fucking falling to bits, like we all are. And one of the bits that goes quite easily, one of the components that fails the most in a PlayStation, how would I phrase that? The component that fails soonest in a PlayStation is this. It's the actual disk drive itself, especially on this model of PlayStation. This is one of the first PlayStations that was released in the UK. This is the SCPH 1002, which means it's apparently got excellent audio output, and it's just brilliant in general as a PlayStation. However, what ends up happening is the disk drive just dies. Why? Two reasons. One, because it's top left up here, right? And that happens to be right next to the power supply. The power supply gets hot, and apparently it bends some of the plastic components that are in this disk drive. And if that's bent, it means the disk can't get read, and you're just in for a terrible time. In addition, the disk drives that came with this model of PlayStation have got plastic runners for the laser to move along, whereas disk drives that came later on models of PlayStations had that part in metal. Suffice to say, this disk drive here is fucked, and they knew it was fucked. It sort of was designed fucked, because they did fix it eventually. But this model of PlayStation is wonderful in every other regard. The models where they fixed that, they cut some costs in other areas. So except from the disk drive, this is wonderful. However, what's the point of having a wonderful PlayStation if you can't load a disc? Well, what if your games weren't on discs? Everybody's heard of ROMs and stuff like that, right? You download an emulator, you play a ROM, everything else. Well, with PlayStations, you don't have ROMs, you've got disc images, because once again, these were CDs. So, some clever boffins somewhere, probably Eastern Europeans, I don't know, tends to be a lot of activity for hardware mods in that area. Some clever boffins somewhere have invented a thing called a disk drive emulator, right? And that's what I'm hopefully going to try and install tonight live. Very ambitious. Going to try and do it before midnight. It's probably not going to work. Let's see me sweat live on stream. What is a disk drive emulator? Well, basically, what you do, see this disk drive here? You pop it out, you fuck it in the bin. Bye-bye. Doesn't work anymore. See you later. You've served me very well. I don't want you anymore. Ta-ta, right? And in the place of this disk drive, where it plugs into the motherboard and stuff, we have got custom hardware. Look at this. This isn't sponsored. I just bought one. So this is a printed circuit board designed by Boffins, holding it upside down. And this, via a handy ribbon cable, plugs into the optical drive port on the motherboard and replaces the optical drive. And then you can get an SD card. Look up here, there's an SD card slot. And see on your SD card, you drag and drop all the games that you legally have purchased. You can download image files of games that you legally own, right? You put them on that SD card, you put that thing in your PlayStation, you load up your PlayStation, and it gives you a menu of all the games that are on the SD card. And your real PlayStation loads the real code of the real game, but instead of loading it off of a disc, which takes a wee bit longer and is unreliable and can skip the music and all of that pish, it's loading it straight for an SD card. How cool is that, man? This is something that I've wanted for a long, long time. And tonight, I'd like to give it a bash. Who wants to see me maybe break my childhood PlayStation? So it's a wee bit complicated, right? It isn't just as simple as what I said before with the ribbon cable and stuff like that. You also need to solder this fucked up custom device thing like this here. It's a very weird PCB with like lots of solder points and vias and stuff like that, all in different areas and things. So this might be a difficult solder job. As it happens, I've got a full soldered workstation upstairs. I've got an overhead camera. I've got a scene where the overhead camera can zoom in. I've got a 3/4 perspective camera. I've got a scene where that can zoom in. And I've got an HDMI microscope so that you can see stuff really up close and all of that as well. So, without further ado, let's get upstairs and let's break my fucking childhood PlayStation. But first, I want to speak to the Twitch chat. How you doing, Twitch chat? Welcome in. What's even happening? Hello, Glaswegian, Carivore, Funky Man, Llama, Blaketown, Left in One Device, Norris Day, Super Sausage Fish. Anderson was 10. Llama says brain is minced. Not as minced as ads, man. He is a terrible fast food employee. I think he did very well. I really enjoyed it. Funky Man, how's it going? Funkle Albert, how we doing? Zephyr, Blaketown again. Hello, Meatballs, how you doing? You can't be saying that, James. I forgot what I even said. It's in the past. Oh, death threats and stuff? Aye, fuck it, man. It's my new thing. I've stopped saying in Minecraft. I'm just like threatening people now, literally. Pursue, I feel a wee bit better. I did have food poisoning for a bit. Won't go into detail. But I feel a fair bit better now. Llama's stream was good, everybody. Oh, and also, sorry for heavily, throughout today's and yesterday's stream, heavily promoting Llama Chan's channel at 7. Turns out it was B. Dolan's channel at 7. Llama came on about 8. So the big special announcement was in B. Dolan's channel. There should have been better communication between me and the parties involved, right? I'm going to take partial responsibility there. I wasn't really paying attention. So sorry for all of you lot that were like at Llama's channel at 7. Like, was here the place? It was B. Dolan's you were meant to go to. Got a couple bubbles there. Zephyr, how you doing? Thanks for your Prime sub. Been gone a while. New baby is taking every moment of every day, but good to have a chance to say hello whilst at work. All the very best with you and your new baby. That's amazing. Thanks very much for your Prime sub, and it's good to see you back as well. I'm going to try and do more evening streams, just because I think Twitch is a wonderful, magical place, as was demonstrated in the Cup Burger stream earlier today. And I want to be a bigger part of it than what I've been. I was quite privileged early in my Twitch career to just be really successful with everything. And I think I took it for granted a bit. And I want to lean into it and celebrate a wonderful, wonderful folk and vibe and community that we've cultivated. So I'm going to be streaming next. Daysit says, I'm planning on trying my very first hack of my M1 Mac next week. Wish me luck. Jesus Christ, Daysit, you're not going to try and unsolder the RAM or SSD, are you, as your first electronics project? Because I'd be a wee bit dodgy about doing that myself, and I've been soldering since I was about 10 years old. But all the very best and good luck. Not to put the fear of God into you, but Jesus Christ. Meatballs, I'm not doing the parallel port mod. So the parallel port mod uses something called PSIO, And apparently that method of optical drive emulation, lots of people on the internet are saying that's shite. So the parallel port isn't getting involved at all, and instead it's all, well, it's two PCBs. So this PCB here is like a custom thing that is mounted directly onto the motherboard. There's a ribbon cable that goes from this PCB to this one, I think. But I wonder where the ribbon cable for the optical drive goes then. Don't know. There's instructions online, so we can go through and hopefully get somewhere nice. It'll be exciting. I'm looking used to it. Daisy says, I used to have turned my PS1 upside down to get it to read the discs. Same here with that one. That's been upside down longer than it's been the right way up. But then there came a point where it just stopped reading the discs entirely. But I kept it because it's my childhood PS1. We've been through a lot. That PlayStation 1, actually, we've came full circle because that PlayStation 1 is how I learned how to solder. Because I was the guy in your school who would solder a mod chip onto your PS1 so that you could play dodgy games. And that was my uncle told me how to solder all the moons ago. And that was my first project that I did. And then, look at me now, soldering in front of an audience on a Thursday night. Anyway, how good was all that cut burger stuff? Wonderful stuff. I'll speak about it probably at length in all the next streams that you hear me speak at. But with this one, I need to get upstairs fairly quickly because I would like to get most of this mod done before midnight. I don't know if we'll have time to like format an SD card and load up the ROMs and all of this sort of pish. So what I'll probably do is just do all the hardware stuff tonight and then leave all the software stuff till tomorrow. And that'll be better because tomorrow I can maybe even find a way rigging the PS1 into OBS so that you can watch me play games and stuff like that on it as well. I think that would be cool. Lama says, thoughts for everyone in chat whose parents sold their PS1 for probably a tenner at a car boot. Do you know, that's funny, I actually bought this in Reading for a tenner at a car boot sale. Ah well, no getsy backsies. My biggest heartache was my mum. Here's what I'm still angry about and what I still think about when I'm trying to get to sleep at night. Two things. One, this Ultimate Warrior jacket. It wasn't cool, right, at the time. But I owned this Ultimate Warrior jacket. And I really want it, man. But it doesn't exist anymore. And it was fucking cool. I don't even like the Ultimate Warrior, but that is a mental garment, isn't it? I owned that. It's on eBay just now. I'm not going to click eBay because they like to dox my postcode. So I'll click it over here. Much do you think that is on eBay? I might buy it. No, I certainly won't. £84 plus import charges and all of that. Get wrecked, man. So, that Ultimate Warrior jacket still stings. That still stings that was thrown out. Oh, I've got another one. She shouldn't said that. My mum also gave an old jacket to my cousin, and that was fine because the jacket was too small for me, right? But my cousin was like, oh, thanks very much. Put it on, found a £5 in the pocket, fucking kept the £5. So I'm down a jacket and a £5, and I didn't even have anything to say in the matter. Still bitter about that. Still haven't seen that £5. Thing number 3 is my big box of Lego. I had a big box of Lego, and I don't even really like Lego that much. However, as it turns out, second-hand Lego, even stuff that's been chewed up with snotters and pubes and stuff in it, still is ridiculously expensive. See if you've got a big bucket of second-hand Lego somewhere, or if you're at a car boot sale, somebody's just got some Lego. But could I give you like £2 for that big giant tub of Lego? And if they don't know what it is, they'll be like, aye, cool. Folk are glad to get rid of it. Lego, telling you. It's like extracting copper pipes for buildings. If you can find a cache of Lego, you're in the money. Anyway, so for those 3 things, I understand and completely relate to you, Llama. I think I might have... Sorry, I'm struggling to speak today. I think I might have a second PS1 somewhere. And if I do, it's got your name on it, mate. I'm all excited, everybody. Funkle Albert says, I'm excited as well. Meatball says, shout out to Brazilians who've probably done more than any nation for console modding. Aye, that's very true. Shout out to Brazilians in general, man. Plodder says a PS2 was my first successful electronics fix. Dynamite. Well, what I'm going to have to do, hi K Harker, what I'm going to have to do, right? Remember I said that I had previously installed a mod chip on that PlayStation 1? In order to get this to work, I believe I need to remove the mod chip. So in order to do my latest and greatest soldering project live here tonight, I need to undo the very first soldering project that I ever did when I was a child. How sort of interesting is that? Don't know what that says about me. Anyway, does this bypass region locks and stuff? Yes, it does, Donny boy. It does, aye. So you can play homebrew, whatever else. All you need is the disk image. The only downside to doing this procedure is that then if I've got a PlayStation disc, I can't play that in the thing because I've removed the disk drive. As it happens, the disk drive's fucked. But there might be a scenario where I've got a physical PlayStation game and I want to play it, I won't be able to do that. But as it currently happens, I won't be able to do that. And also, if I'm in a situation where I've got a physical PlayStation game and I want to play it, just go online, download the ROM, or download the queue and the bin file, stick it in the SD card, stick it in, job done. Means there's no disk loading and all of that sort of stuff. It's not that much faster than if it was to load on a disc, but it just means you don't have all the sounds and all the mechanics and all the points of failure that you otherwise might do on a disk drive. Edmo says this is not going to work, mate. Well, we maybe need some. We need to put a wee bet on or something like that. I don't know. Thank you very much, Sorry Hunter. How you doing? My YouTube is showing 2 live streams for yourself, and one is a bit skewed. In case you're asked, Sorry Hunter. It is showing 2 live streams. First off, thanks very much for subbing. Second off, one of the live streams is widescreen for your computer, and the other live stream is sort of vertical for your phone. I'll admit the one that's vertical for your phone doesn't look very good, so what I'm going to do is just maybe fix that just now so that it's a better experience. But I think I'm going to quit the YouTube vertical in a minute because I'm going up the loft quite soon, and all the scenes for the loft vertical setup, so hard doing shit like this, man. Your brain is like spinning so many plates. All the scenes for that don't work, so I'm going to... Anyway, Sorry Hunter, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, how you doing? Meeball says, mind and bring some sweat rags. Don't want to ruin your solder work or get splashes on the microscope from the hot attic. I am roasting, man. Someone can't jam with the console cowboys in cyberspace. That's brilliant. We should add a cut burger command and so throw some pills around here. I'm into it. Where are we? I need, so for my Mega Drive, I can do everything except 60 Hertz. No, I can do everything except 50 Hertz. And I've just been working on that recently. But that's just to do with the scaler that I'm using, and if I buy a more expensive scaler, that'll be fine, but I'm not going to because fuck all of that. Anyway, Donny Boy says, love at 10:30 night. Time console modern streams. I remember the Mega Drive one for last year. I've now got that Mega Drive on my main living room telly, which is quite exciting. I mean, my living room telly. Burger goes in the cup, Caravor. That's how it works. Catch up, Caravor. K Harker says, I recently cleaned my stick drifting Xbox controller. I channeled your energy and it worked. Oh, amazing. That's something I've never done myself. Amazing. A wee bit gutting that the stick drift still exists in the new Switch. They just didn't bother their arse to fix it, and it's like £9,000 to buy one. Bit of a sting. Hello Candlelight. X Station sounds like a dodgy Freeview channel that goes live at 12:30. Aye. You tune in to get your free 10 minutes. I mean, one does. I've heard. Bigger boys told me. X Station. Pursue says, was watching Anthony Marnelli music in a place that repairs classic synths. Seems most synths past the late 80s are usually beyond repair, depending on the problem, so be very careful lashing out an expensive one. Stick to the rack versions if they're classic ones from mid-80s to 2000s. Glad you're picking up, fella. Dynamite, Pursue, that's class. I've got a mate that's into really nice high-end synths, and apparently there's one guy in Scotland that's the synth guy for people that are like into it, and I'd love to just go and meet him or do a wee documentary or something like that. He's dead old, and there's nobody else that's as good as that guy. I forget his name, but he's the dude, and lots of people go to him. For a lot of this stuff, consoles and old synths, a big problem is capacitors, man. Capacitors 30 years ago weren't made good, some of them, and now 30 years later they're leaking bad pickle juice all over your motherboard, and it can cause irreparable damage. So because of that, quite soon, don't know how soon, I'm going to be trying to be replacing the capacitors on 3 separate things, and that's a task. Well, I've done it before on my Mega Drive, right? But for these ones, it's just extra difficult. Some I've not done before, so I'll be kind of sweating when I'm doing it. But not tonight. Tonight, we're breaking a PlayStation, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Hello, Set to Build, how you doing? I don't dislike Lego. I never meant to say that I dislike Lego. I'm just like, no into Lego. Why am I not into Lego? Because if you want to buy one, it costs about £100. Amazon.co.uk. What about the rose? You know that Lego rose? Lego rose, guess how much? Official Lego one, please. It's £14, that's actually fine. Okay, so my point isn't made very well. Here's like a really good one, it's £40. That's actually kind of reasonably priced. Alright, well maybe Lego's okay then. Last time I looked at the price of Lego stuff, it was just deer and things. Anyway, right, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong. I hope you're happy. Chameleon says, well, I enjoyed Lego when I was a child. I never did the instructions and stuff. I just made my own things, and it was good. I think Lego is good. It teaches people spatial reasoning and working in a Cartesian XY space and stuff like that, modules and working with your hands, dexterity. I think Lego's a wonderful thing. Fucking, you don't want the Lego people after you, by the way, man. They mean business. You don't want the Lego people after you. Can get you a fair amount on eBay. One of my pals has some from when he was a kid, and with manuals and stuff, it's practically a gold mine. Amazing. Amazing. Right, I'm going to scan some stuff, and then we can head upstairs. How do SD card loaded ROMs work with games like VibRibbon, where you could load up the game, then put in an audio CD to affect the game? Well, Meatballs, that would be the same as like a multi-disc game. So certain games for the PlayStation, kind of like the X-Files, right, come in multiple discs. So multiple discs have got multiple bin files. So in the menu of XStation, I've not done it before, but I looked into this, I'm like, how does that work? On the menu for XStation, when you're booting the game, you can say somehow via tagging that one, that this is a multi-disc game and I want to have like these discs sort of on standby. Then somehow there's a way of switching them out as you're playing it. It looks to be fairly straightforward. I've just not done it yet. So for something like VibRibbon that can make use of an audio CD, or any other PlayStation game that can make use of an audio CD, what you would need to do is have your audio CD just ripped to a bin file and stick that on the SD card, then boot it as a multi-disc game, and then where you would usually swap the discs, you just do the special menu thing, and you can play VibRibbon with an audio CD. I remember with my PlayStation 1 games, so PlayStation 1 discs could be played in your CD audio hi-fi, right? Track 1 sounded terrible because track 1 was the data for the game, but tracks 2 and onwards were the actual game music, and it was recorded on CD as like CD quality audio. So if you get a PlayStation game, stick it in your CD player, don't play track 1 because you'll ruin your speakers, but play track 2 onwards and you can hear the audio for the game that you're playing. Stick in Gran Turismo or something, it's kind of cool. And what I learned when I was a child was, if you've got a game and you switch out the discs for an audio CD, say you're playing Gran Turismo, then the audio CD that you switched into the game will start playing in the game, and it's kind of cool, but it'll be sort of random, you don't know what tracks are coming up. But of course, as soon as the game then needs to load data for the game disc, it'll crash and you're fucked. But that's maybe why my drive doesn't work, because I was absolutely abusing it when I was a wee kid. Get a prediction going. I've got channel points to spend. I'm into it. Skewed live stream is the ops. Well, aye man, this is going to be scuffed to bits. I've already taken half an hour talking shite to yous, so I think we need to head upstairs, man. I don't have a backup living room, Mootsy. At some point, can we get a 16-bit version of the Crystal Maze theme for moving to the loft zone? Yes, Pedropolis, yes we can. I will add it to the list, but yes we can. Teenage 1030 phoning up the X Station woman. I'm like, what it is when you're soldering, do you use leaded solder or unleaded solder? And the sexy woman on X Station's like, whoa, well, what you want to do is... Humblest man on Twitch. I'm humble as fuck, John Atfield. I'm one of the most humble people in the world, actually. I'm maybe the best person at being humble. How's it going, John Atfield? Dolan says, I repaired a synth like that and it took over a year. It could be hard going, especially old synths. We were speaking about the custom screens for old synths. What were the not compact fluorescent. What were the wee screens we were talking about, like, yesterday? And getting them, like, cut for bespoke stuff. It's a full industry, man. I saw a little Lego JCB the other day for £16. Backtracking on Lego, I know, I'm a scumbag. Look, I'll admit when I'm wrong. See, you can never win, right? If you admit you're wrong, folk are like, you're backtracking. And if you don't admit you're wrong, folk are like, you're stubborn. You can't win, man. You can't win. Connects is better than Lego. I'm not going to touch that, mate. All the best, Psychosomatic. I did have a good Connects car. See the wee racing car thing, and you turned the steering wheel and the wheels turned. Oh, that was cool, man. It had wee little linkages and wee sort of sprockets and things. I did enjoy that. Aye, actually, that was pretty good. I had a lot of the space Lego in houses, probably drove my parents crazy with bugging them to get them. Here, do you know about, what's the guy called? Matt Denton, I believe he's called. I've spoke to him briefly. Cool guy, part of the R2D2 Builders Club. And he, check this out, he's like this. Is it Matt Denton? It is, right? Wait till you see this, lad, man. So what he does is take... like Lego Technic toys, right? You know your Lego Technics and stuff like that. Give me
Hello, my name's Matt.
And then he 3D prints all the pieces, all the Lego pieces, but massive. So look over here, look at the size of these Lego pieces. This guy's a cool guy. So this is the original Lego toy. And what he does, his projects is, he will just scale up all the components to human scale. So this here is a 3D printed version of a few of the components in the buggy that he just showed you. And if you combine all them together, all the linkages work. This is cool stuff, man. Let's get into it. Which I am.
Taking the edges off there, just taking the burr off the edges.
Sorry, this is just the first project. Sorry that the audio was bad there, I'm sorry. This is the first project that I happened to come across there, but he's done bigger and more impressive things. So check him out, Mark Denton. And then in the end, for all of these projects, he can actually drive them and ride them. So I mean, that's something. Sorry you had bad audio. Sorry he was talking over me there. I'm a terrible streamer. Terrible. Lego has tiers of cost. I've got tiers when I see the cost of Lego. Lego has tiers of cost. The Millennium Falcon is like 200 to 400. Aye. Very expensive, man. Vib Ribbon was awesome. It's amazing how for the original PlayStation 1, because it was a disc-based format, it allowed lots of just experimental games. It allowed lots of smaller developers to make stuff and to release it, because it was really easy to just do like a small run, 10,000 discs for a game. That's why there's so many games for the PS1, because folk could just try stuff out. there was an amazing indie scene, and Sony and the PlayStation brand just now seems awfully stuffy, seems quite corporate, risk averse, not very progressive. They seem to be squeezing us just now. I don't like Sony as a company just now, but see, around the time of the PlayStation 1, there was a buzz, man. There was an optimism and a vibrancy and a feeling of, like, possibility and stuff. That's all just the marketing, probably, and the culture at the time. Designers Republic and, you know, Warp Music and Anyway, I'm getting nostalgic for the 90s, everybody. Right, so, let's fix a PlayStation, won't it? When we will do that. Loft, into it. I mind was away, and my favourite thing to do with my PS1 was to stick a pencil in the switch to say the CD was closed so I could see the disc spinning. Aye. Well novel, into it. VFD displays, thanks, Bally. X-Station Babe is still angry about the restriction of the use of Hazardous Substances Act 2004, making lead solder illegal for consumer use. Was that only 2004? Oh, and is it illegal? I thought it was still legal, just like I thought it was like, you can buy it, but don't. I don't know, it's actually illegal now. Shit, I think I've still got some upstairs somewhere. Didn't know lead was, that's what, I've potentially been carrying illegal substances for over 20 years. Thanks very much, Meatballs. Why you should hate 1030 by Lego. Pure drama. That would be funny. Have you seen Scrap Heap Challenges back? But it's all electric now, and it's called Zap Heap. Stevja, that's not true, is it? Is that true? I loved Scrap Heap Challenge, man. Lego Deep Dive is coming. No sold them tonight. I know. Fuck this, get a Lego set building stream on the go. Lego PlayStation, man. Space Lego was always good. I always wanted the monorail set, but they are so much now. Aye. It's a lot of pennies. How's it not getting sued by Lego? You'll get sued by Lego if you don't write it the way they want you to, all uppercase. It's not Legos. They're very particular with their terminology. You can't say Legos, plural. It's always Lego, and it's always uppercase. Like MF Doom. I think Lego and MF Doom had like a thing where like uppercase, man, caps lock or fuck off. Hello, Steph Make Stuff. Welcome in. How you doing? I've seen people print the minifigs props so you can get a walkie-talkie mug, etc. I've seen in the R2-D2 Builders Club somebody has 3D printed a life-sized Lego R2-D2. So it's like the minifig R2-D2 with like a sticker wrapped around the body tube and stuff. It's funny. It's a cool thing. It's really well made. Turns out Mark Denton is actually really tiny. Amazing. I remember Monster Rancher on PS1 used music from any CD you put in to generate random monsters. That's cool, man. There was a lot of creativity being expressed in the PS1 era. Even at the higher end, like the whole Psycho Mantis thing with your second player joypad and... Don't know, it just seems like a more optimistic time. The millennium was coming up and everybody still had money because everyone wasn't all fucked. The 90s, honestly, you should have been there. It was very good. Crystal Maze... holidays to Mallorca and stuff like that. 90s, highly recommend it. Everybody, honestly, you should have been there. Do you watch retro recipes on YouTube? No. Big Commodore 64 news? I have read the Commodore 64 news. Is that account? Is that the guy who bought it? Is Retro Recipes? So Commodore as a company. In fact, I'll speak about this later because I want all of this done. Well, I was going to say before midnight. It's not happening now, is it? It's not happening now. Let's head upstairs, lads. Was genuinely thinking of doing Scrap Heap Challenge streams like 2 days ago. Same here, Llama. I was thinking about Robot Wars and Scrap Heap Challenge. But if you're thinking about Scrap Heap Challenge, I won't touch it. I've got a billion things to do, man. I would love to watch you watch Scrap Heap Challenge. That would be amazing. I adored Scrap Heap Challenge. Scrap Heap Challenge, Norm Abrams' American Workshop. Are you familiar with that? I watched that when I was a wee guy. Norm Abrams. Me and my dad would watch this. It's all fucked. I've pressed F numbers and all of that. I've got developer mode on Chrome. So I wonder if Norm Abrams still kicking a ball. Does anybody remember? New Yankee Workshop, that's it. Oh shit, this is on YouTube. Is it making new ones on YouTube? But anyway, the New Yankee Workshop was basic. I'm trying to find it before, I know you can't see it. But it was a guy doing woodwork, basically. But me and my dad would watch it, and it was a cool thing. You don't really get too many project TV shows anymore, do you? I wonder if it's just costly to make. I Lamborghini Scrap Heap Challenge. Do it. Luna says, watching this whilst I do exercises from my illustration course. Very cosy tonight. Nice one. Still illegal to own the lead solder, and plumbers remained allowed to use it where they have to interface with old lead pipe. Just made illegal for consumers to buy. I see. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not in the loft yet. I'm going up to the loft as soon as I get to the bottom of this. Where are we? Where are we going? Lego's best in the night is 100%. 100%. Fun Calibre, are you familiar with Norm Abrams? Okay, everybody. I think it's time to head upstairs. Anna says, did I tell you I went to this amateur Robot Wars, legally not called that, but Battle of the Borough a few weeks back? It was great. Amazing. That's class. What's that guy's name again? Turns out there's a guy that I know from the R2D2 Builders Club, Oliver Steeples, right? And my mate Julian, who's been on the stream before, he's a guy who plays keyboard in Franz Ferdinand, plays guitar in Franz Ferdinand as well. So Julian, I've known for years, for decades, and he texted me once like, do you know of a man who's building R2D2 called Oliver Steeples? And I was like, aye, I do, aye, how? And he sent me a YouTube link, and it's like a DV camera that's pointed overhead at a table that was in a flat somewhere in like Bristol. But it turns out Julian and Oliver Steeples, when they were children, both built robots to fight each other as part of like this underground Robot Wars league in England when they were both kids. And for some reason, Julian saw a news article of an R2 builder called Oliver Steeples and remembered, I think I've fought my robot with him, looked out an old tape and sent it to me. So I've got, it's weird, you know, when worlds collide, like if ever your family are next to work colleagues or something like that, you're like, whoa, what? So it's weird, my pal Julian, when he was a child, fought a robot with another guy that I know for the internet. It was just like kind of broke my brain a wee bit. I was like, whoa, there you go. But I think we should get back into competitive robot building. I really do. Violent robots look to be the future. And as soon as we get to that point, I think we will need to do some sort of DIY stuff. So some amateur hobby robotic fighting league tournaments, I reckon right now would be quite good for society to teach our youth how to create autonomous weapons so that we've got a chance in the uprising. But we can worry about that later at the time. But that's cool, Anna Realtor, that's brilliant. It's good that it's still going. It was so class and such a lovely atmosphere of community. They were all really supportive of each other and inventive of their creations. That's brilliant. I think it said August for the new Scrap Heap thing. They should still call it Scrap Heap Challenge. I think it's great that it's coming back, but calling it Zap Heap, I don't know. Scrap Heap Challenge, could I work on your TV show, please? Hello, Scrap Heap Challenge. Let me speak about the name first. We can sort out the branding and stuff. I do graphics, but I'll do any other type of production. Scrap Heap Challenge, I want to work on your show. Thank you. 1030.exe has stopped responding. There are a few pics in your Discord, some replicas of the old bots too. Amazing, Anna Realtor, that's brilliant. Is it possible to make a BB-8? Yes, indeed. Mark Denton, that I just showed you there, has built his own BB-8. There is a BB-8 Builders Club where they have sort of had to reinvent how the inside works with BB-8. The BB-8 that you see on screen is achieved multiple different ways. One of them's a puppet, one of them's CGI, one of them's like a real robot that can drive about. And the BB-8 Builders Club have conquered it. Basically, they're making really, really cool stuff. So I give that a shufty. I don't know if the club is too active anymore, because obviously it's been quite a while since that film was out. Anyway, shall we go upstairs? I think we should go upstairs. I've got a feeling this isn't going to work for some reason, lads, but we'll hopefully make the most of it. I don't have my phone, so you can't watch me go upstairs. You will need to just wait on me going upstairs by looking at this scene here. Moment of truth. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Yes, you can! Oh, amazing. That's wonderful. Am I too loud? Am I louder than what I was downstairs? Or is everything fine? Because that's good, isn't it? That's very good news. Perfect. Good. Hi folks, how you doing? Welcome to the loft. Let's make the loft look a wee bit better. Hold on. So you might not have seen the most recent loft updates because I updated the loft and then didn't really stream from the loft, but we've got this camera, we've got this camera, and that can kind of follow me about as well. I won't demonstrate that just now. We've got a microscope. You can't really see what was happening in the microscope there. Hold on. There should be a light, it's not plugged in. And we've got the ceiling camera, and then we can zoom into the ceiling camera. Ooh. And then we've got, I've usually got buttons for all this. Perspective camera, hiya. I need to move this wire. I wired up my camera and then realised that the wire is right in front of the camera. And then see if I want to get real, I can zoom in. And then if it's about too close, and you know, we could just zoom back out like that. How's it going, everybody? There we go. But what I think I need to do, and then we've got ceiling cam here. Get different different areas. And all of that. So I think that's maybe everything that we need. Let me rotate this 180 and let me rotate this 180. Aye, that works now. Wonderful. Okay, so as it happens, I have previously removed all the screws in this PlayStation, so it should actually be quite easy to do this mod. We'll see how it goes. See the ELPs that work on discount, do they work at 4K 60 for you? Mine's are only doing 60 at 1080. I'm getting 4K out of them. Let me see. This is the wrong camera. Let me pick one. So the zoom camera here, this is one. That's why I'm able to do that zoom in. My mic isn't peaking, is it? Do you know what? I'm not going to diagnose this just now because for me it's working. But yes, I get more than 10k out of mine. I definitely do. No peaking? Excellent. It looks as if it is here. Also, it's difficult for me to read this chat, man. So let me just configure some stuff. Ah, it's a lot better now. That's a lot better now. I'm a bit louder, but it's okay. Okay. I mean, we'll figure it out. Best production values on Twitch. Thank you very much for recognising my excellence. I appreciate your appreciation. Does a man in the TV know me? Hi B Dolan. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Hi B Dolan. Pirate Bay t-shirt. Yes. I love your investment in setting all this stuff up. I'm assuming you probably spend more time in tinkering than streaming. Aye, Ian. Yes. Spend most of my time thinking and getting really frustrated that I don't have time to do other stuff. Can you wish my mama happy 75? Of course! Oh my goodness me. Is there a special girl among us? 75 years young? Oh, happy birthday. A very happy birthday. Usually what I do, right, on people's birthdays is I'll play armpit farts. But it feels inappropriate to do armpit farts for a 75-year young person. But same rule for everybody. Here is a rendition of Happy Birthday on the armpit. And this is for a very special person. K Harker's Ma. K Harper's mother. And many more. Happy birthday. Okie dokie. Is that a LED cluster or a multi-pin locking socket sat on the cutting mat? No. It is a connector thing for creating bespoke there's like another socket thing that goes into it. So it's not a DIN socket. In fact, it might actually be a DIN socket, but just with a different configuration. So I've got loads of these. What was it they were called on AliExpress? Some like aircraft connector, quick disconnect or something it was called. But it's good, it's kind of like 9 pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's a good wee interface that's sort of screwable and lockable. And they were very cheap as well. Lucy Kelly, how you doing? Lucy Kelly, thank you very, very much. Can I confirm that the camera didn't switch to downstairs and we're still live here? Lucy Kelly, thank you very much for subbing. I hope you're doing good. Roscoe's birthday song has just been pipped. Look, it's not a competition, Steph. Creativity is not a competition, and if it was, I wouldn't like to go toe-to-toe with Roscoe. I don't fancy my chances there. Lucy Kelly, thank you very much for subbing. I'm up at an unusually late at the moment as my dog is poorly. Oh no, man. One upside though is that I'm catching your evening streams. That's amazing. Lucy Kelly, all the very best with your dog. Wee dogs, man. But all the very, very best. Thanks for subbing. You're an aircraft connector, quick disconnect, big scary deer. Where are we? Where are we? Still live, everything's good, that's brilliant. Okie dokie, let's go to ceiling cam, let's open up this PlayStation. Probably, right though, you will want to see my face at the same time, won't you? So let's add a scene, like this one, hiya. Then let's maybe put, where am I going to be? I'm going to be about here. And then let's do this. Boom. And then we can maybe just move this. What? Not you. Can move this over. Not you. Oh, why are you fucking... Streaming's the most difficult thing. Why can't I deselect stuff? All my things are selected. I wonder if shift... shift is held down on my keyboard. There we go. Some wasn't quite right there. I wasn't having it. Right, is that fixed now? Is that everything? No, my bottom one needs to be over here. And also, see this bottom thing? That's not exposed correctly, so I wonder if we can just configure that. And not brightness, but like maybe gamma or gain. No, I think it's on auto. Well, look, it is what it is. It'll do. It'll do for the time being. This looks a wee bit washed out over here, but do you know, it's maybe just this monitor. Actually, we're fine. We're fine. Okay. I'm stalling. Also, this mic isn't working very good at all, man. Let me know if you can hear and see me well. Okay, so here we have PS1. My original PS1. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So the objective is to completely remove this disk drive here. And, well, do you know what I'm going to have to do? Sorry about this, everybody. Copy. Paste. That's alright, isn't it? You can sort of see most of that, can't you? So this disk drive here, gubbed, man. It's absolutely gubbed, won't load a disk. So how do you get that out? Well, you just do that, and then you lift this bit. Like so. I'll expose your bottom thing in a minute. I wish somebody would, by the way. I have exposed my bottom thing live on Twitch once, do you remember that? Showed my full arse. In fact, multiple times showed my arse on Balmer's channel as well. So, look, pulled that wee ribbon bit off, easy peasy. And then there's another wee quick connect cable. It's not a quick connect, what would you call that? Don't know, don't care. DuPont connector, maybe? So this here is the CD drive. And basically it's fucked because there's a bit in here that's made out of plastic. In later versions it's made out of metal. And this one is just fucked. You could repair it, you could replace this if you wanted. But instead of replacing this, we are switching it out with one of these. So this is going to go in here rather than the disk drive. Before I do that, I need to do like a billion other things. And before I do those things, I need to get further into the depths of the heart of my PS1. And you will be surprised how skinny a PS1 motherboard actually is when you get into it. What is amazing about a PlayStation 1, and it shows you how far we've come, right? I can get into a PlayStation 1 with this screwdriver. That's all I need. This screwdriver right here, just like your average DIY screwdriver that everybody owns. That's all you need to get into a PlayStation 1. Imagine trying to get into a contemporary PlayStation with just this. Also, all the screws are just the same screw. Just some normal fucking screws. They're not a special pentalobe bit. They're not a special Apple fucking screw that'll break if you don't use an Apple RFID screwdriver. Nothing like that. There's no secret booby traps inside this PlayStation where there's an intentionally thin wee bit of wire and you need to hold it down, otherwise it'll break, and if that breaks then there's an ID with that component, you can't just switch. None of that shit. You just open it up with a bloody screwdriver. The world was a better place. I mean, they did lose a hell of a lot of money because people put mod chips in these because they were easy to modify. I did it when I was 11 years old. That was my first venture into enterprise. What's the statute of limitations in Scotland? See if I say that I counterfeited games when I was a child and sold them to people. Would that get any trouble? Like, I was a child. Can you get tried for crimes that you did as a child? Hypothetically. This reminds me of a PS3 that I need to try and fix with the yellow ring of death. I've been putting off for the past 5 years. Amazing. Go onto YouTube, see if there's tutorials, man. I felt bad, like I may have rage baited you and bounced earlier, not to reopen, but the Ben Affleck worms, but I hope it was at least fuel for good rants. It wasn't even a rant, Dolan. I agreed with more or less everything that he said. The only things that I didn't disagree with were things that he wouldn't have known about, because he was talking about that in 2019. No, it was quite insightful. I thought he spoke very, very, very well about it as well. He was well informed, and he spoke about it for that position. And I've got more respect for Ben Affleck than before I watched that video. But I more or less agree with everything that he said. And the bits that I don't agree with, I only don't agree with him because we now know a bit more. And I'm sure he would be along the same lines as what I'm thinking nowadays. But aye, good video, man. I think I did watch it at the time. Aye, but never feel bad. Right, here we go. Just make your face cam square. Aye, it's lots of effort. I'll keep it with this just now. Can you fix the gap in the left? Is everything fixed now? Or is there still a... Aye. No. See, I need to... My light is in front of that part of my monitor. So I need to now fix that on this as well. Thank you everybody. I didn't want to make an arse of myself there. Okie dokie. Right, let's see what everybody's saying. So this thing emulates the entire OS and you will load games via a ROM. No, doesn't emulate the OS at all. There's no emulation involved here. You okay, Rachel? Aye. In fact, see, instead of a cup of tea, maybe like a Coca-Cola would be lovely, thanks. Maybe a wee bit too hot for a cup of tea. No emulation at all. So the game is running on an original console, so there's no emulation. The only thing that's happening is, instead of a disc being read and that data feeding to the console, the data, instead of being on a disc, is on an SD card, and the data is being read from an SD card and fed into the console. So the console doesn't know that there's not a disc in. You know what I mean? She's a barky bastard, isn't she, man? What's the deal with her? Are you okay?
Yeah, this dress is just not very good for climbing.
Hiya.
My foot was getting caught on my dress.
Thank you very much. Pepper, grow up. Grow up. She isn't going.
She's just a little baby girl.
She is just a little baby girl, people's princess. Are you doing nice? See you later. Thank you. Bye. Pepper, the people's princess, is very offended that Rachel is going up a ladder. Right, where were we? Seeing you break into this has inspired me. Good luck, Funko. Always fries my head seeing inside old tech. There's fuck all in there compared to today. Aye. And also, like, it makes me feel old. Because I remember this is like the latest and greatest thing. I remember sweating the first time I opened this just in case I'd fucked it. And I think it's like, there's the whole right to repair bill, and the will for legislation that will allow us as consumers to be able to repair our goods. Like, see if this broke when I was a child, I could just easily open it and repair it. Nowadays you can't easily open stuff because it's designed for you to just need to buy a new one, and that sucks, man. And I think if I couldn't, when I was a child, I'm autistic, right? So I unscrewed everything. I wanted to see how stuff worked, and that knowledge then gave me the skills that I've got today to build things and to fix things. But if I was a child today, I wouldn't really be able to open everything with screwdrivers and stuff, because if I did, chances are it would just break, because everything's just, it's different, you know. So I worry about the lack of opportunities for younger autistic people just now to just open stuff up and have fun and play. But maybe we should buy them all vintage PlayStation 1s. Who knows? So I think step one, once we're inside, will probably be removing the mod chip that I installed when I was a child. I think that's step one, lads. So here we go, here's the motherboard in full. So this is a PU8 motherboard. It's a late PU8. There were two versions of the PU8 motherboard. You'd think if there were two versions you would call one of them the PU9. But let me zoom in and you can have a wee look at this. It is a thing of terrifying beauty. So there you go, that's what we're working with right there. And if we open this up, we can get rid of everything else. And we're just looking at the motherboard. And with everything else removed, you can see how small the PS1 actually is. Obviously, this doesn't include the circuitry for power, or the joypad ports, or the CD drive. But look how thin you could make a PS1 if the CD drive was an SD card, and if the joypad ports were like a Bluetooth chip or something like that. It could be well slimline. I wonder if anybody's done that. You could hide a PS1 in a book or something. Anyway, so this is the sketch. That's the setup that we're talking. And if I flip this over, there we go. Looky here, you can see a mod chip. And this here is the first electronics project that I ever done in my life. I soldered 4 wires to my childhood PlayStation 1 and it terrified me because they're tiny, tiny, tiny wee marks on this board. And if I soldered it wrong, or if I slipped, or if I messed anything up, I wouldn't be able to play my computer games and it would be heartbreaking. As it happens, I need to undo this in order to do the thing that I want to do next. So I'm going to unmod my PS1. Here goes. Going to stick on the soldering iron. Wait till that heats up. And we will unmod the first ever mod. Like on the... It was literally this console that I did it on. It was these very 4 wires. Let's unmod our PS1 before we mod it further. This is exciting, man. Feels like somebody who was better with words might be able to say something nice here. But I'm not, so here we are. Slightly, not emotional, but contemplative, I guess, right now. Anyway. Right, where are we? Where are we? I had to buy one with the 3-way Nintendo screwdriver to try and fix my Game Boy Color. Aye. Hi, Keezies, how you doing? I just realised it was you. In a pinch, I've now got extensive screwdrivers for getting into all sorts of stuff. iFixit kits and things like that. However, in the past, to get into a Game Boy in a pinch, what I've done is get a biro pen, take out the inner bit so that it's just the outer shell of the pen, and gently melt it with a lighter, and when the tip of the pen is soft, jam it into the screw and hold it there, and the molten plastic will then form a shape over the custom head on the screw, and there's a knack to it. I managed to get that knack down. So you melt it, you jam it and hold it, wait for it to cool, wait for the plastic to harden, and then you can sort of like this, and it will unscrew. If you try and gently unscrew it, the plastic will maybe thingy, but you need to like push in and like that, and it unscrewed brilliantly, and I felt very clever. Oh, can I show you something else that I bought recently? This cost about £5 or something. It's a gold Mega Drive cartridge. It says Sega on it and everything. Well, a gold Mega Drive shell. How cool is that? So I've got a cartridge. I hope I can clean it. It was just filled with fingerprints. Be electroplated or something. I've got a Mega Drive cartridge that allows me to make music on a Mega Drive. and it's in just an old Sonic shell. So I'm going to stick it in this shell just so that it's kind of more bling and fancy. It's quite exciting. So that got delivered as well. It was just a few pounds and I couldn't resist a bloody gold Mega Drive cartridge. I'm in my fucking element, man. How's it going, Keezies? Welcome in. I was telling BitSocket Scott about Savage Princess recently and he was getting very excited about it. I don't know if you know BitSocket, the sort of retro video game podcast guy. Excuse me. What's a CFW, Chameleon? Right, I'm well behind in the chat. Haha, grow up. Honestly, man, I've tried to reason with Pippa, tried arguing with her, tried everything, man. My dog did a mini woof when he heard Pip. That's amazing. You'd love Louis Rossman, Right to Repair. Aye, yep. Consumer rights, man. Keezy says, I'm terrified to open my old consoles to have a peek at the capacitors to see if any of them have leaked. Amigas are notorious for it, yep. Really need to learn how to solder to fix them myself. We were speaking about that earlier, Keezies. So I've done a Mega Drive. I need to do this PS1 because some of the caps on this are bulging a wee bit, see down here. But it's a pain in the arse to replace them on this. Through-hole capacitors, like on an Amiga, are much easier. Not easy though. See if you don't solder, not easy. But surface mount capacitors are a wee bit. It's something that I've not done before, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm a wee bit anxious about it. The Mega Drive took a lot of time. But because I've been soldering for a long time, it wasn't difficult, it was just laborious. But these through-hole surface mount ones, I feel a wee bit uneasy at the thought of doing it, which is why I haven't done it yet. I was thinking about starting a service, though, to recap people's consoles, and just do it live on Twitch. And it means that I can stream, and it might even be a wee revenue source as well. Could be quite exciting. And I've done those Game Boys as well. I've still got the modified Game Boys to maybe sell in my merch shop. Portable mods are big on YouTube. Some folk go as far as sawing off portions of the main board that aren't important. Aye, have you seen Ben Heckendorn guy? I think made the first portable Xbox or something like that. Now that you mention it, Meatballs. And some of the decisions in that were like, wouldn't be reversible, let's put it that way. Where'd you get the chip from? Internet. UK internet. It's called X Station. Oh, this chip, the mod chip, when I was a child, I got from the back of a magazine. PlayStation magazine had listings in the back. And same with my Amiga magazines back in the day had listings. And I could join like a mailing list and people could trade shareware floppy disks in the post and stuff like that. It was the Wild West. Magnetic media, do not x-ray, all of this sort of stuff. I'd bought some DS screens, they sent 2 of the screwdrivers, that's brilliant. That's dynamite. Funkle Albert, Mega Drive music stream coming, but not coming soon. I've got 2 Mega Drives and 2 sources of music, meaning 2 cartridges that can make music, so I could have a Mega Drive duet, and also I've got Super MIDI pack for the SNES, and I've not even switched that on. I bought it because I saw it on offer a wee while ago. Bought it, haven't even used it yet. What does that mean? It means that I can write my own music and pump it into the sound chips of a Sega Mega Drive and a SNES, and that is a field that I used to make work in about 15 years ago, and my sort of biggest ever project that got successful on the internet was that sort of very thing. So at some point I would quite like to get back to it. Consumer rights was what Pirate Software was raging against, not to open the can of worms again, but must watch you talking about it on the VOD. I must be missing some. Oh no, Anna Realta, see with the Pirate Software thing, I don't really have an opinion. I don't know what is happening with it all. I'm not on his side or against him or anything. My whole point about the Pirate Software thing is that I just really didn't like the witch hunt against the guy, whether he was right or wrong. I thought the people voicing the complaints against him weren't doing it very well and were coming across as pricks. but whether or not he himself is needing cancelled or whatever, I don't really know, because I kept reading to keep trying to figure out, but is he like a real baddie? And it all just seemed to be hot air coming for people who want attention, so I really don't know. Anyway, let's unsolder a mod from my childhood. Wonder if you could get in and see this. I do have a microscope here, but I don't have any way of lighting the microscope, and I don't think that'll be good. So I wonder if we could just make this larger. It means it's not pixel perfect. I'm scaling the pixels a wee bit. But hey, it is what it is. I wonder if I could just turn up the saturation. So it looks a wee bit better maybe. Sharpness. Don't know if that picture quality looks a wee bit better or it's just stinky. Anyway. Here we go. Oh, and I suppose you don't want to see my hair as well. Can you see anything for my head? I'm thinking I'm needing a new tip on this solder iron. There we go. So this is me successfully unmodded the first ever mod that I've ever made in my life. I wonder what chip this is. Let's just take a wee 5 minutes. I know it's probably past midnight now, but listen, we're all engrossed in some fantastic content, aren't we? So let's open this and just see if we can identify what chip this even is. I think it'll be something with EEPROM on it, because as far as I'm aware, the PlayStation needs to look for a code that is on the disc or something. And I think what happens here is there is a code that's on this that the motherboard thinks it's reading from the disc, but in actuality it's reading from the chip or something like that. Don't really know. Haven't thought about it, to be honest. So the reason it's covered in tape is just to isolate all the electrical connections from the rest of the gubbins of the console. Right, let's see what chip this is. It just says China. China. And it does look like, in fact, I don't know. It looks like there's maybe a pot in it. A potted bit. Oh, aye, there's numbers here. That's a wee bit of history. This is a bit of culture, everybody. We are revisiting an original UK 90s mod chip. There used to be a scene, guys. It used to be exciting. Yous don't know. Yous weren't there. Maybe some of yous were there. Right, so what does this say? Can you see this? You definitely can't see this. I wonder if we could look at it through here. Probably not, because I don't have a good light. But so this is the chip here. If I can... Oh, it's so difficult to move. So on it, it says 12C508/ Oh, it's so difficult. Is that a P or an F? Looks like a P. 04 Ham 9818. It's interesting, isn't it? Ham, of course. So there you go. There you go. Just shows you. Is the PS1 the one with the wobbly track? The disc track thing? Aye. So the data on the disc is like bloop, 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 like this. Imagine the number said 1030. Wow. Is that the chip that made it possible to copy discs? It made it possible to play copied discs. Aye. So you could have a disc that you didn't purchase legally, that your mate just burned for you, using toast titanium, and then it meant you could play that on your PlayStation. Also, it meant that you could order games from other regions. So I ordered WWF SmackDown from America. I had the NTSC version of SmackDown. Cost me a lot of money, I remember, for when I was a wee boy, because that game was available in America before it was available here. So I ordered the American version of SmackDown, and that wee chip allowed me to play it. My uncle, right, ordered the Japanese version of Resident Evil 2 because it was available in America before it was available here. And that was more money, that was a lot of money, right? But he ordered Resident Evil 2, received it, and then realised, oh, it's in Japanese though. So the PlayStation ran it fine. But as soon as you get into the game, you were fucked, man. All the menus is all Japanese, all the dialogue, all the storylines, all the objects you pick up. So I think we played the first sort of 5 or 10 minutes of, well, it was called Biohazard 2, the Japanese version of Resident Evil 2. Played the first 5 minutes like a million times, but we couldn't get past that because you need to like just be able to read to get further than that. And to be honest, I don't think I've played actual English Resident Evil 2, but I've played a hell of a lot of the first 5 minutes of Japanese Resident Evil 2. Might be good at some point for me to revisit Resident Evil 2, PlayStation wise. Pedropolis says, have you been interested in the new 16-bit edition of Farming Simulator Mega Drive cartridge? First I've heard of it, mate. It's got me wanting to dig out my old Mega Drive. We could play it tomorrow, Pedropolis. Could I buy or download a ROM of it and I could play it on my real actual Mega Drive? Lost respect for Ben Heck when he said we should move to digital games movies. Beanie Mac, I used to follow him, and then I remember I stopped following him because he did something or said something or something, and I can't remember what it was that put me off him. What games are you excited to play in the PS1? I always go back to Wipeout. Aye, Wipeout, Tony Hawk's, anything for Demo 1, basically. I want to play Resident Evil 2. I'm very keen. I've got the actual discs for Music and Music 2000, which were games that you bought for your PS1 that weren't actually games. They were digital audio workstations where you could program melodies and, like, you know, drums and whatever else to create your own banging club tracks on a PlayStation. There is video on YouTube of Benga from the East London grime scene making beats on a PS1 for back in the day, and I think all that's pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind trying to just make a track, like make a jungle track on a PS1. Music was cool, man, because what you could even do, as soon as the game was loaded up, you could then open the disk drive and switch it for a sample CD. So if you had a CD filled with like breaks or, you know, drum samples or whatever else, you could then map them, or even just like musical samples, you could then map them onto the keyboard of your game and create some really cool music. So I'd be quite interested to doing that as well. But the main reason I'm doing this is because it's hooked up on my living room television. I've got 2 joypads, and I want to just have something that Rachel and I can sit down and just play some games. So for the Mega Drive, I want to play Wiz and Liz, I think. But I'll need to think about 2-player games for the PS1 that we can get into. Amazing Anna Realtor. Aye, it's all a big mess, isn't it? Looking forward to a news report from Tip Tinner. Stevja Tip Tinner's sitting right here, mate. Still on schedule. Aye. What time's it now? Aye, we've got like 4 minutes to do this full thing. Who made the chips? No idea. Not a clue. I still haven't read Euromancer, but I've flip-tipped on the Super Cosmic Highway. Or whatever the fuck it was. I was there, used to go down the Barras to buy bootleg games. Aye, I know the exact bit in the Barras. That guy Sweeney that was there. I shouldn't have mentioned his name. I wonder, he'll be long dead now. I remember buying an Amiga game in the Barras, and there would be like a big catalogue and you would go through and you're like, right, I want this one. The guy's like, that one. I'm like, yep, right. And he would just like knock on the table that he was standing at, and like a head came from under the table. He's like, that one. And a child under the table operating an Amiga would find the disc that I was looking for, copy it as I was standing there using Xcopy, and if Xcopy didn't work, the child would be like, it didn't work, and the guy would be like, nibble it, because Nibble It, there was a piece of software called Nibbler, and if Xcopy didn't work, Nibbler would get the job done. And that's the only words I ever heard that guy say. That one, or nibble it. It was a different world. Completely different world. I think Technology Connections did videos on PS1 anti-copy stuff. That would be cool. I'm into it. Right. Right, where we go? I'm skipping over the Pirate Software stuff because I don't care about all of that. In my day we had one game and the tutorial involved learning Japanese. Aye. I sound like a fucking old guy, don't I? I'd like to imagine a wee Japanese fella doing the opposite and being stuck playing the first 5 minutes in English. It's mad, isn't it? I'm sure I posted in your Discord about it a while ago, but when was it released? When was what released, Pedropolis? The limited edition green carts are sold out, but you can still buy the black one. Oh, the MIDI carts? Or the Mega Everdrive? Or, no, the game you're talking about, the Farming Simulator. I would like to get a ROM of it, but I don't want to like pirate a game that is indie and currently in, you know, a current game. So if there's a way for me to purchase a ROM of it and I can put it on my own cartridge, I don't want to pirate a game, an indie game. I'll pirate everything else. Like I'll pirate Wipeout from 1997, but I don't want to pirate if there's a new project by like a contemporary developer. I don't want to pirate that. It's certainly not on Twitch. But if I can buy a ROM of it, I will purchase it and we'll play it. I'm not aware of an official downloadable ROM. Maybe you can have a look in your usual places. Cool, but thanks for letting me know about it anyway. It's good to know about cool stuff. Hello Silver77, how you doing? Welcome in. Meatball says, Wipeout, get some Denki groove on the hi-fi, couple of bottles of Iron Brew and vodka, aye, maglev racing, some Eckies on the go. Good old Burst Nibbler. My message has been mod checked, that's a first. Don't take it personally, Ian. The thumbnail made it look like you were about to rock out to an electric guitar. Does this look like a guitar? Ding, 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 ding. Redout spiritual successor. There needs to be a contemporary version of Reddit. There definitely does. Cart's about 40 quid. I fucking... Not a chance, man. Not a chance. Okay, let's get back into it. I mean, should I maybe leave it here and wait till tomorrow before I do all the stuff? Let me just assess, right, what's involved here, because we've been chatting, everybody's been having a lovely time and whatever, but let's go to ceiling cam and I'll show you what we're talking about. So this here is our PS2, PS1, and oh aye, that's why. No. And then it's hard to stream, guys. There we go, that's us. It's hard to stream. So here is the motherboard. And where used to sit a desk drive will soon sit this, right? But not just this, this and this as well. And this here should connect to inside the PlayStation, right? Where the disk drive was, this should go. So I'm just making sure I've got the right one for this model. Aye, that looks good. Look at that, that fits perfect. Do you see that? So where the disk drive used to be, there's now like this nice injection molded bit of plastic. And there is a hole here in the plastic for the SD card to go. So I'm happy with all of that. All of that looks good. I think I know how to succeed there. Okay. What else do I need? So this component is quite a fancy one. So instead of, as the old chip, you know, soldering multiple wires in multiple places around the board, this is a PCB with like tiny wee solder points. So I'm not sure entirely where this goes, but somewhere on here this fits there, and then you solder all the tiny points onto there and it sits really neat and flush and perfect. Don't know where it goes though, no idea. So it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 solder points. I do also need to lift, I think, 4 or 5 pins on these big chips here. Not looking forward to doing that. That'll be the trickiest thing of the full operation. And I need to maybe solder one wire somewhere going some way. What do you think, everybody? Do you think we should stay up and just do it all tonight? I'm not working tomorrow. Do you think we should just stay up? Might take me maximum about 2 hours. Or is this a good wee time, now that I've got everything set out, everything ready, to pick it up at 1:30 tomorrow after having a full nice night's worth of sleep? And it means that I'll be a bit more rested for it. I don't know. I'm in two ways. I think if I do it tomorrow, there might be more folk in as well. I don't know how many folk are in just now, but I would imagine there would be a bigger crowd in. And it's been a while since I've done a project stream during the day as well. You know what I mean? You're in the zone. Get it done now. Aye, okay, let's do it, man. Let's do it. You woke up over 15 hours ago. Go to bed. Well, let's see how we do. What? Well, let's just see, because there are some steps that we need to do first. So let's have a look at XStation PU8 install. So there's a motherboard called Late PU8. The PU8 is the name of the motherboard. And so what I'm trying to do just now, and I think I can show you me doing this. You've got a month streaming hours to make up. I know, mate, I know. Right, let's go to... I don't have my buttons here to change my scenes. So it needs to be this. Will yous be happy with me if I stream? I've only got one monitor upstairs as well, so streaming for here is a pain in the arse. So I think this is my instruction manual. XStation ODE instruction for Late PU8 PS1 motherboards. That's great. There are 2 versions of this PDF though, and one of the versions of the PDF is a liar, and the other version, stop trying to set things as defaults. The other version is the one that I've got. So let me just double check. Sorry, what I need to do is lift some pins off a chip. But the bit that will tell me if this PDF is the correct one is that screen there. And that screen there is showing me the shape of this. So this thing here. Yes, we've got the correct instruction manual, folks. And let me just see if I can figure out where that goes, round about here. This looks tricky. I'm not going to lie. Right. Do you know what? This might not be the correct hardware for the model that I've got. Give me a second. Maybe a wee bit lost here. I wonder if I can show you this. So that instruction there, right, is telling me to put that board here-ish somewhere, but it looks as if there might be some interface issues. So I'm detecting something might be slightly off somewhere. I might need to buy just a duplicate, a slightly different model of this board. James's model name is PU as well, because he's honking. Llama, your model name's Cunt. How does that sound? I know you've got a lot on your plate just now, but just want to cut you down to size. Saying I'm PU. You're a cunt. Hi Taff, man, how you doing? Welcome in. Look at old Jimmy, incorrect hardware here. Imagine calling Llama Chan a cunt. Llama's maybe one of the most brilliant people in the world and has just been through a lot of fucking stuff. I'm sitting here like, you're a cunt, right? Oh, it felt really good to say. To say, I love you, Llama. I think you're wonderful. My eyes are actually watering. Oh, I get such a buzz off it for some reason. I really liked how disproportionate it was. Deary me. Say that to my face. I crouch down and say it to their face. That's amazing. Still ruined. 2 ruined hips and I'll still butter you. You'll butter who, shit hips? You'll butter who? Sorry, for some reason I'm very aggressive towards Llama and I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be. My God, James has just felt alive. Sorry about the shit hips. James has... Sorry, I've probably went too far here. I'll rein it back. VOD's getting deleted. That's a friendship I've just ruined now. There we go. James has just felt alive for the first time. Let's give him a sec. I know I've had depression for 2 months. I've not felt anything, and I've just made myself giggle by being mean to somebody. Let me have it, right? And right, see if you don't let me be mean to Llama right now. That's actually ableist, because depression can be like a mental disability. Do you know what I mean? If you think about it like that. So, you know, it means mental health and stuff like that. It means that I should be allowed to bully Llama because it makes me feel better. Touché. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, Llama. I just needed to get it out. But I've said it now and I think we're going to be cool from now on. Anyway. I'm going to run your feet over with my wheelchair after this surgery. Have you seen my feet, man? My feet are mental. My feet are absolutely mental. I'm going to ask my metal spine who's right and get back to you. What a wonderful community we are in here. How you doing, by the way, Taff? Right, okay. Let me see if... And Taff, I've no spoke to Rachel, actually. Rachel came in after the stream. I want to show Rachel all that cool stuff. Aye. Once again, Taff, man. Legend. What a wonderful day this has been for our wider Twitch community. Anyway, I'm stalling and killing time here and bullying Llama because I'm a wee bit upset that I think this might be the wrong thing for my PlayStation. So what I'm going to do is... Could run your feet over from here, mate. Did I tell you my mate Tony once saw my feet without socks on? And... I don't know why he's right, but it's the perfect word for my feet are fucked, right? See, if you looked at them, you'd be like, whoa. Tony pointed at them. He's like, what the fuck are they? Lady hoofs? And he's right. Like, it's probably a misogynist name, but the lady hoofs is the word for my feet. He's absolutely right about it. I couldn't say anything. I was stung a belter, man. Horrible feet. Like, my feet are like expressive, weird art. Really, there's stuff going on there. Oh, why wasn't she watching the stream? Unsupportive? Yes, unsupportive. She was out on Randan with her wee pal. 10:30 for Wiki feet front page. I think they would need to. I don't think it would be. I mean, technically it's legal feet and stuff like that, but there would need to be like a warning put up or something. My feet would do well on 4chan or LiveLeak, you know what I mean? But not like mainstream feet. Like a couple of steps for mainstream feet, you know what I mean? Like, guys are like, want some a wee bit, you know? That's my feet. That's my territory. Salvador Dali Drew's feet, aye, kinda. I've no arches and almost prehensile little toes. I've got that, and I've also got Morton's toe at the same time, and also they're size 11s. And there's hair in places where there shouldn't be hair, and where there should be hair, there isn't hair there. It's all... I can feel Llama trying really hard to come back from shit hips, but it's not working. I know. Why did I say shit hips, man? That could have went really poor. My God. Why did I say that? That was brave. No, it wasn't. It was stupid. I can cross my big toe over my second and my little toes. Aye. Morton's. We are related. That means I think we've got a common ancestor. You broke your big toe last week? Fucking hell, Gibbs, man. That's one of the worst things in the world. I cried on stream. No, but not several hours ago, and now this man is mocking my disability. Do you know what? I'll own up to it. Sorry. Right? Sorry. Right. And that's it. There we go. All done. I'm ready to cry on stream, though. I'm ready to cry on stream because I think I've bought the wrong this bit. So let's see if I have bought the wrong this bit. And if it turns out that I've bought the wrong this bit, then that will put an end to this stream as it currently stands. Right, I was just making sure that you can see the vibe here. Okay, so I'm looking at an instructional bit over here. I can't see my output, so I'm very sorry if I go out of shot or something just now, but I'm trying to locate the bit where I'm supposed to put this on, right? And this here looks like quite a notable landmark on the printed circuit board, right? So I'm using maybe this bit here as reference because I can see that here. However, other chips round about, when I line the bit up that goes into here, other chips aren't working very well. So let's see if we can find another one of these. Is it maybe upside down like that? Right? And then some... No. Even then, I don't think that's wrong, that bit. No. This chip and that chip kind of talks to each other. So that chip there. Oh, aye, might be into... No, but then that's slightly different. And then on the reverse... Oh, ho, here we go, folks. I found the spot. I've found it. Okie dokie. So, turns out it actually goes here. That bit goes in there. Yes. Yes. There we are. Look at that. So we've got all the right gear. I'm quite happy with this. I'm quite happy with this. As a thing to stream though, this is a pain in the arse because if I'm looking at the instructions, I can't see the chat or my output, and I need to look at the instructions to do this, but then I don't really want to have to tab between things. You know what I mean? Did you have a look at your old shite solder points from the last mod? Got to remove them if you're under where the X-Station probes go. I removed the chip, and the solder points are fine. There was nothing bridging or anything like that. So I think the old mod is completely and cleanly removed, and there was nothing bridging for there. So this, as it stands, is a completely stock PS1 with like no mods on it now, which means it's perfect for this wee modification here. So let's read and stuff. Where are we? Daftman says, sorry if you were offended, Llama. Exactly. I'm sorry you got offended at that stuff that I said. Remember that the rap that I made for Bilal? Sorry you got so offended. Oh, it was brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Gutted that this has worked out for him. Dearie me. Okay, so I think maybe we should bounce out to the... I don't have my iPad up here. Usually I use my iPad to change scenes on this computer, and because I don't have it, everything's harder than what it needs to be. So here you can barely see that, right? But there is like an outline here of that motherboard bit. So this diagram here is what I was just trying to line up here. So all of that's good. However, right, I haven't read the rest of this thing here, so we might as well read it. As I'm reading it, I wonder if I can just drag the Twitch chat over so I can see both at the same time. I don't need to see my output. Also, we can probably pull this down like that. Also, you probably can't see me because I'm over here. So we can fix that. Right. Tangent, what's your thought on Minidisc? And chat, what's your thoughts on media and players? I never really used Minidisc at the time because they were quite expensive. As a recording medium, I think they're quite cool. Visually, aesthetically, I think they're really interesting. David Rudnick, the illustrator, made them really popular recently again. They are an aesthetic work of art. I think they look amazing. They're kind of cheap as well. If I really wanted to buy some music and have it to be the best quality that it can be, I'd buy a CD. But I think that mini discs could be a fun way for musicians. Like if mini discs became popular again, if mini disc players somehow got cheap or something like that, buying a mini disc could be like a cool physical release for maybe indie music makers to mess with, because I'd sooner buy a mini disc than a cassette, for example, if I wanted to support somebody. Because if you buy a cassette that a band has made, you're not really buying it to play in your cassette player, you're buying it to support the band, and you'll continue to listen to their music on Spotify, you know. So I think like a mini disc would be a cool, because they're nice looking objects, man. But I never really owned any back in the day. I played with them, looked at them and stuff, but never owned any, I don't think. Close-up cam has the rolling horizontal artifacts, looks like 59.94 to 60 hum. Cheers. I think I can maybe fix that. If I go to ceiling cam, I see that. I thought it was just aliasing. And then I do this, and then I do this, and then I do... Nah, see, it's already at 50. See if I put it at 60, pop. That's it now at 60. Is that any different? But 50 is where it should be at, because we're in the UK, innit? Let me know, Meatballs, if that has fixed in. And if it hasn't, I'm simply not trying anything else tonight. Just get solid media inside a mini disc, get the best lossless quality audio on there, and then sell the player as an alternative to something like Spotify. Yes, it goes back to swap media when listening, but isn't that part of the fun? I don't know. By solid media, do you mean like a USB key? Because USB keys, data doesn't last on them. lots of people who sell albums on a USB key notoriously have got problems with it. I would never sell something on a USB key, because somebody will buy it, they'll stick it in a drawer for 5 years, they will take it out of the drawer, plug it into their computer, and it wouldn't be able to get read. I would never buy or sell any data on a USB key unless it was some special one that's designed to, like, unless they convince me that it's going to work. I've read far too many horror stories. Although, what's your experience, chat? Because there's a lot of folk here that might have made releases on USBs. Have you had any bother with it? Okay, I'm procrastinating. Well, I'm not procrastinating, I'm reading chat. I mean, like an SSD of some description when the chips get cheap enough. Aye, Chameleon, aye. We need to solve that problem, innit? It's gone okay for me, no one said the files didn't work. Nice one. I think I heard 2 horror stories for 2 different bands round about 2009 or something. And I'm sure technology's came on a long way since then. We made some like 100 for the last LP. Oh, nice one. Cool. Aye. I think my prejudice against it has came from probably old information. I'm sure USB technology nowadays is much better. Right. Am I even on the right scene? I should be on a scene in OBS where you can see me and this, but I can see the instructions, but I also want to be able to see the chat. So if I drag the chat but then Alt Tab, nah, it's not dragging with me, so I can't drag the chat out here. Oh, this is hard. Have I got my phone on me to see the chat on my phone? I don't. So I'm just going to have to Alt Tab, and that's fine. I put a USB key through the wash years later and the data was fine. Dynamite. Amazing. I think maybe the folk that I was speaking to maybe just bought the cheapest of cheap SSDs and that's why it died. See the tiny NVMe that Steam Deck uses? That's perfect for like a media player or game card. Aye. Very high capacity and quite small as well, innit? Anyone see the CEO affair outed by a Jumbotron at Coldplay? No, that's funny. You can buy mini discs cheaply. Brilliant. If mini disc players were cheap, I think that would be a cool way. I always thought there might be an opportunity for people releasing albums to, like, because you want a physical release. Everybody enjoys a physical release, am I right, folks? You want a physical release, right? Because you can make money by selling people physical items. But then, do you do a USB key or do you do a CD or something like that? And I was thinking it might be cool for somebody, and you would need money, right? So this is like probably somebody like fucking Bjork or somebody would do this. But you would create like a sculpture or like a ceramic ornament, like some sort of beautiful object, and that would be what you buy. So it's an object that might even have utility or something like that. It could be anything. But then there's like a QR code on it. Not a QR code, like an NFC tag or something like that. So when you scan it next to a base station that's connected to your hi-fi, the album then starts to play. Or maybe there's like a plinth, you know, a base reader. And then when you put the Bjork object on the reader, the album starts to play. But if you take it off and put on the fucking Led Zeppelin object on it, I think there could be. It's not going to work, is it? It's just the practicality is ridiculous. I should stop talking and modify a PlayStation. Okay, so this is a late PSU board. Let's just double check. PU8 165846723. That is right. So we have definitely got the correct motherboard. I'm happy with that. The GPU and especially the VRAM area on the top side of the main board is different. See below. Okay. This is the top of the motherboard. Let's look at the VRAM and the GPU. So that is here, and then that is double confirmed that we are definitely on the right track. The Mechacon controller chip has different sizes. See the picture below. Okay, I will see the picture below. I will look here. And I will look up here, and sure enough, yet again, that has confirmed that yes, we are right. When you are sure that you have a late PU8, you can follow this guide. 1. You have to disassemble the PlayStation 1 completely to get the main board. Done that. Done that. Search for IC309. Okay, the IC309 is this chip right here. Let me just double check that you can still see the things that I'm doing. IC309 is this chip here. Yep, that one here. So, the first steps of this mod are the most scary, because what I need to do is lift some pins on this and one other chip. And I really don't want to do that because it's frightening, because if I mess it up, and I'm likely to mess it up, but let's just do it. Right, so I have to remember this area for step 6, and I will remember the purple area as well. Remember the purple area, which is down here. We will get to it later in this guide. For now, we'll focus on the red area. So this here is the red area. Okie dokie. So far, so good. We're about quarter way through the guide. And now this is when I need to actually start doing scary stuff. So this chip here is the IC309, it's the CXD2510Q, needs to have the following pins lifted: pin 44, pin 63, pin 66 and pin 69. Sex number. So we are going to lift those pins. Please make sure that only those pins are lifted. I will try my fucking best. I'm a bit scared here. I've done more difficult things with a solder iron, but this might not go very well. So I need to lift pins, 4 pins from here, right, without breaking anything. So let's mark them. Second one in, and then miss 2 and 1. Second one in, then miss 2 and then 1 here. Okay. I don't want to do this, I'm scared, folks. So I don't think there'll be a way that you can easily see this. This is the tiniest, most tiniest of tiny stuff, and I need to be right up close to it when I'm doing it, so I don't think the ceiling cam zoomed in is going to work. I think you just might need to stare at my dandruff and bald spot when I'm doing this. So I need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 pins from here, and then after that, is there any other? So this is just the one scary bit in the full procedure. After this, we're fine. Everything else is easy after this, just this is the scary bit, right? Oh, I don't want to do it. Where are we? Whoops. Whoops. Devon Inc., how you doing? Funny number hype, Devon Inc., thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, what's even happening? Maximum respect to you if you're just joining. We are modifying a PlayStation 1. I don't know why I'm holding it up, because you just were looking at it properly in the previous scene. Lane Matthew, I was away for a while. I wasn't streaming for a wee bit. I wasn't feeling too well. But I'm back now and I feel much better. We do a similar thing with a device that plays Stories for Kids. Oh, amazing. Oh, the tag tuner, Ian McLeod, is that already a thing? Like an amiibo, that's what I was thinking, and a Realta, aye. Just an idea. You could do it with NFC tags. I used a real banana to launch a Donkey Kong Country using an NFC sticker under the banana sticker. That's funny. That's really cool, Toshkin. How you doing, Devon Inc? Okie dokie. I like this scene. It looks like a live wallpaper. You look like a live wallpaper. Right. Okay, I've procrastinated enough, everybody. If you're just joining, this is quite scary what I'm doing. I'm modifying my PlayStation, my childhood, my own actual personal PlayStation. And in order to modify it, I need to do some soldering stuff that is tricky. Also, the tip on this soldering iron isn't brilliant, and I'm doing it with an audience as well, which just adds pressure on. Right, before I do it, I want to get myself comfortable. I want to put both feet on the ground. I want to make sure my seat's at the right height, and I want to make sure that I've got nothing in my body that's like achy. I'm not, crunched up or anything like that. Because if I'm comfortable, this will be a lot easier to do. I want everything in the right position, but at the same time it's important that you can see what I'm up to. Right. And let's go in and lift these motherfucking pins. So pin, let's say from the edge, well, I've moved it about now. So where are we? This boy here, from this edge, let's call it pin 2, and then pin 5 on this top edge. There is no way in hell you guys will be able to see this. But I will talk to you through it, and we're all on the same page here. Nice one, Lame Matthew, thank you very much. Right. Okie dokie. One hand solder iron, other hand scalpel. And what I want to do is wedge that scalpel. You can't see a thing. Cool, so I think that's the first pin lifted. Magic. Aye, that was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. Okay. So it's the first one up. And I haven't ruined any pads or traces or anything. I'm quite happy with that. Then I need to... Right, so we are a quarter way through the difficult thing. Then I need to miss 2 pins. I'm sweating here, folks. Then I need to lift the next one. I'm sorry you can't see this. I'll need to somehow get an even more different microscope or something. Work in progress. Full stream is a work in progress, everybody. Ian, what is that? What's the eBay link? I won't be able to click through. Someone go over there and mop a brow. I need an assistant next to me. I need a Debbie McGee. Rachel's went to bed though, plus even then I don't think she'd be up for it. I'm sorry that you're just looking at the back of my head. There's nothing I can do. Bingo, so it's the second pin up and I haven't ruined anything. My eyesight's getting worse, so I really need to look at it up close. And let me just double check I've definitely got the correct pins. Yep. And let's double check it's definitely lifted. Yes, it is. Excellent, guys. So we're now halfway through the tricky bit. Everything else is plain sailing for here. Okay. Okie dokie. Do you understand what I'm doing here? Should I get a visual? Basically, these microchips here, these microchips here are connected to the motherboard with lots of metal pins that are soldered onto the motherboard. I just need to lift some of those pins so that they're not touching. But it's footery and awkward, and there's very little margin for error. Okie dokie. So let's see the next pins that are happening. The next ones that are happening are the second one down. Alright, let's just do that one then. Second one down for here. Right, let me just get myself room. Shit hips. That was out of order. That was out of order. I think that's the worst thing I've ever done. Right. So what complicates this one is that there is a capacitor kinda near where the pin is. So this is the third of 4 awkward things, and then after this it should be quite easy to follow along, but this bit is going to just be a wee bit awkward. I need to clean this before I begin. Right. And it's the second one down, yep. There we go, lifted that, easy peasy, no bother. Let's just double check it's perfect. Yeah. I'm happy with that. Now, I want to just make sure that's lifted away and that it isn't making contact with any other metal bits. Wonderful, it's looking good. Okay, so now there is just one more pin to lift, and it is the 4th from the bottom. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4th. So that is 3 pins, and then on the 4th, that one gets lifted. This is the final of the footery bits, folks. Everything else from here on should be easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know, I wouldn't mind doing this for a living. Do you think for a couple of months maybe I could just modify PlayStations on Twitch? Wow, that one came off really easily. I could do like bespoke consoles for folks. That would be a dream. Get a wee factory going. Could do Mega Drives, Game Boys, PS1s. Could do HDMI mods. You know, region free mods. Okay, I think that's us. Yep, those two are up, and those two are up. I just want to double, triple check that everybody's happy here. Aye, all good, man. Okie dokie, that's the tricky part done. How exciting is that? I think that calls for a celebratory wee drink of juice. That's quite exciting. Oh man, sweating buckets here. Sweating buckets. Ian says, I'm so shite at soldering, but you're starting with the right ones. Fuck them, game over, so do them first. I do the... See, in any job that I do, I try to do the hardest thing first. In anything, not just like soldering or whatever else. If I'm doing a bit of design work or whatever, I think it's called... It's a productivity technique. It's called swallowing the frog. Because some productivity people have named it that. I don't know why. I suppose the act of swallowing a frog is unpleasant, so if you have to swallow a frog, you might as well get it over and done with, is the idea. So if you've got a big to-do list with millions of things to do on your to-do list, and one of them's like a bastard thing that you're not looking forward to, just do that one first. And as soon as you get that one, then the rest will be easy. Whereas if you try and do the rest first, you'll always be like, oh no, that one's coming, I don't want to do it. Oh no, that one will be tricky. But apparently there's merit into doing it first. I just did it there, and it means it's great. Because if I'd have done everything else, then done that, and if I'd have fucked that up, then the full thing would have been kaput. .3D print and paint custom shells as well. Aye, Chameleon, I'm into it. It'll be a lot of fun. 1030's recapping service. Totally. Perhaps custom IPS GB colours. Yes, can do that. Custom screens. I can even make a custom cart for a Game Boy. So when you plug in the cart, your logo or your picture or your name will come up or whatever. I can do all of that. Amazing. They're still here somewhere. I heard it as eat the frog early in the day. I guess you have more resources and mental fortitude to begin with the tough stuff rather than leave it to last. It depends what it is. If you've got, you know what I mean, that there wasn't necessarily tough, was just a wee bit scary. I just wasn't looking forward to it because it's a bit footery. The rest is easy. Make sure to say 1030 for your free Diet Coke. That's right, everybody. Thanks once again to the Coca-Cola company for sponsoring this stream. Okay. Let's move forward. Please be careful not to damage the main board when lifting pins. Use a needle or X-Acto knife and a fine soldering tip to simply touch the pin and apply some heat, then gently lift it from underneath using the needle or blade. Let me just double check that I definitely haven't hurt the... Just looks like something's bridging. Let me just be certain that it isn't. Doing with a magnifier here. Aye, it's fucking... I'm footering. Okay. Please make sure that you've lifted the pins completely. They should not have contact with the motherboard nor with each other. I'll fucking contact your motherboard. Now we get to the purple area on the main board top side. In this area you can see the 67 MHz oscillator. You need to desolder and remove the small resistor and the filter. They are marked in the picture below. Okay, oscillator boy I think's down here. Let me double check that the purple area is where it is. 2 secs, folks. Ah, no, purple area is down here. Right. Okay, so I need to desolder a filter and a resistor. This should be a lot easier than the previous steps. So there's no other components round about here really. I'm just going to desolder 2 tiny surface mount components, and I'm triple checking that I've got that right, because the oscillator on my board is very slightly different to this but it's the same bit. It is the same bit. It's the same bit. Okay, let's get these components off. jammed on here real good. Sorry, you can't see a thing, you can just see my bald spot in my fucking hair. Get a wee bit of tip tinner on the go. And clean my iron. And actually, since I've got water here, I will wet the sponge of my soldering iron. Which is something that I don't actually often do, but I should. Must be soap or something in this sponge. Okay, so now my solder iron is much cleaner. Have I got a way of wiping up some spills? There we go, there we go. Okay, let's try all that again. Now that I've got a clean tip, because you need to keep your tip clean, lads. This wee cunt isn't want to budge. Do you know, it might be good to actually add more solder on. I'll just do it, you're not really supposed to, but I'll just do it to the actual iron itself as well. So I'll add a tiny bit more solder, and that'll mean that the solder that is currently there will be easier to heat up, you know what I mean? That is a strategy that's often done. And there we go, that is one tiny surface mount. Don't know why that took so long to do. That's one capacitor removed. And that's clean, that's fine. Imagine I've now found that it's the wrong capacitor I just moved, Jesus Christ. It isn't though. And then I'll remove this capacitor here. Let's just add a tiny bit of solder on first. That'll help melt the existing solder. And then with that new technique, it should be easy enough. Any minute now. The rest should be fairly easy after this. Righto. And that is now off. Sorted. So that tiny wee resistor, or whatever it was, a filter or something, I've now taken off. I'll just put them up there in case I need them later. I hope I don't. And let's look at the board where they used to live. That's looking perfect. So I haven't lifted any traces. I haven't broken or ruined anything. That's good. How we doing, chat? Is anybody else awake? Let me just have a wee check on the chat and make sure everybody's doing good. As part of your sponsorship, do you have muscular, sweaty, topless men come over randomly to take care of gardening and odd jobs outdoors? So you can have traditional Diet Coke breaks at least once a day. That's entirely... Oh, do you remember in that though? Is there an opportunity to do a 10:30 pastiche? Because remember that advert, the dun 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 dun, I don't want you, dun 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 dun, being on real, dun 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 dun, I don't want you. In the 90s, there was an advert for Diet Coke. Diet Coke break, Diet Coke break. And it was lots of women in an office were lusting after sweaty men, just as Anna Realta pointed out. But wasn't that in the advert, wasn't that 11:30? 11:30 Diet Coke break. I'm sure it was 11:30. Can anybody else spawn in a YouTube searching 90s Diet Coke? I'm sure they said 11:30 over and over again. However, imagine they actually said 10:30. And I could use that advert on my stream to like promote me. Funkle, are you doing alright, mate? Funkle, type good, mate. It is indeed. Whoa. That happened to somebody else earlier. Somebody else came into, I think, the Cup Burger chat and they were typing like that. Was it Willow or somebody? I can't remember who. It is 11:30, just confirmed. Cheers. I wonder if using my jiggery pokery video techniques I could change them saying 11:30 to 10:30. Oh, I mean, it's not going to happen now. I'm balls deep in a PlayStation right now. But maybe tomorrow I will look and see if I can find the Diet Coke advert. Imagine somehow I could change what they're saying to be 10:30 Diet Coke break. And then they look at the window and the muscly guy somehow get my head on or something like that. That might be a fun one day thing. I'm going to have a look at the advert. Depending on how it's shot, might mean if it's dead easy, that could be fun. And if it isn't easy, it won't do it. Just look at the window and it's your arse. That would be funny. Or like just me with my actual top off. So not my head on the nice man's torso. Me as I exist just now. Alright. Just like my face in the window like that. That would be good. Anyway, just an idea. Because I've had the idea doesn't necessarily mean that I need to do the idea. Look at me growing as a person and accepting that. But that would be funny. Famous lamp to Lumpalini NB's chat a long time back. The word play. I think Twitch just does that sometimes. It's as if like page up or the left key or something's just held down. So when you're typing it, like goes back like that. 2025, folks. Anyway, right. Let me jump back in here. So we have removed a wee filter boy up here and a wee resistor boy for over here. And I did that very well and I haven't ruined anything and nothing is ruined. We are now finished, everybody, with the top side of the main board. Turn it bottom side. I'll turn it top wise. Bottom side up, everybody. Time to get real. Here, 3 resistors have to be desoldered and then the quick solder board installed. We've got 4 steps to do, but this last step will be a wee bit laborious. First, we need to desolder the 3 resistors shown here. Okay, I can do that. Yes, I know exactly which resistors these are. There are those wee guys right there. It would be great if I had like a macro camera coming for the side or something to record this, but I don't. And I wonder if
you know, the perspective camera that I use, so you can see me from way over there. I don't really need that. And I wonder if maybe I should take that perspective camera, not right now, not for today's stream, but in the future when I'm doing more close-up stuff, just so that you aren't like the back of my head, you know what I mean? Also, I think I need to buy a new tip for this solder iron. Okay, need to desolder these 3. I'll try and do that a lot quicker than I desoldered the last ones. Let me just double check before I... Ah, it's these 3. Cool, so that's 1 done. Sorry, you're just looking at my head. Two done. 3 done. And then I'll just clean up these pads a wee bit. I think I do have solder wick somewhere. Although, I could use my wee desoldering spudger thing. In fact, the new one's still in its packet. I'll use the old one, but I was looking forward to using that new one that I very kindly got gifted from Twitch chat. Right, where were they? I really could be doing with some solder braid, so let me see if I can have a look for it. I'm sure it's kicking about round here somewhere. You'd have to deep fake yourself onto the guy for the building site. I'm going to have a wee look at the ad and see if it could work. You should get yourself some watchmaker glasses with wee magnifiers. Do you know what? I do have them, but they aren't at arm's length, but I do have them. What I would quite like just now though is some solder braid. Nah, don't know. I need to organise my full workstation. Nah, I'll find it right at the end when I'm closing it up. It's not essential, it would just make things a wee bit easier, but I don't think I need it. Right, let me just double check that there's nothing bridging. Okay, what is the next step on the tutorial? Next step on the tutorial. In fact, I can show you this instructional manual as well, because you might want to see how this is getting put together. So the instruction manual is here. So I've just removed these wee 3 capacitors from over here. Sorry, resistors. Okay, so here is the main thing. So what I need to do is place this board where it needs to go. Where it needs to go is over here. Here-ish. Like that. And before I solder it in, I think I need to clean some of the components maybe. Not clean the components, what am I talking about? I'm just talking rubbish. Before I solder it in, I need to scrape away some of the solder mask that's on a thing. Just triple checking that I'm happy with things. It looks like something could be bridging here, so I'm going to just have a wee look at it, just to be triply, quadruply certain. Aye, we're fine. Beautiful. Onwards. So, does that go there? That goes there. Oh, this is actually a lot of fun. So that board goes onto this bit here. Place the QSB on the motherboard as shown. The yellow markings will help the alignment. Okie dokie. Got all that done. Connect the IO16 pad from the QSB to the marked location. Please ensure that the cable does not run over the metal areas where the shield could crush it. I don't know what any of that means. Right, so I need a cable. Need to install a cable. Right, give me a wee second to just look at the rest of these instructions. Right, so what I need to do before I install this, and what it hasn't told me here, is that I need to scratch some surface solder mask off of certain things, but I don't know exactly what things. So what I'm going to do is just look at every single one of these solder points and see if... No, maybe, you know, maybe it is a different model number that needs the stuff scratched off, because none of this shit needs scratched off. All of this stuff's looking fine. So I think I can just solder this as it stands just now. Yes. Yep, I'm happy to do that. Okay. And before I do, I just want to clean up this wee tiny solder joint. Do you know, I'm having a lot of fun here doing this. Thanks very much for joining me tonight, folks. Breaking my childhood PlayStation. Okay, let's solder a thing onto another thing. Very exciting. So what I'll do, I think, is just tack on like maybe 2 solder points from opposite ends of the board in order to ensure that the registration for the rest of the solder points are correct. Then I'll just get the heat done and finish the job. I wonder if I could use tape or something. Boom shakalaka, first one done. And is that done right? I mean, position wise could be slightly better. So there we go, I've repositioned. That's perfect. Okay, let's solder the rest. Solder that onto there, solder this onto here, solder that onto there. This is very exciting. Making light work of this. Okie dokie, and I'm totally breathing in all these solder fumes, man. Right, so I've kind of arsed this one up. And now I definitely need some solder mask, so I'll have a wee look over here for it. Not solder mask, it's solder braid that I'm looking for. Nah, again, I guess I need to go without and compromise and figure out a solution. I think I'm kinda fucked. Maybe if I get a big copper cable. So it's not solder mask that I need, I misspoke there, it's solder braid that I need to remove a bit of solder from a tiny wee bit that's bridging. And to remove solder, what you're supposed to do is get like a copper braid. You heat up the solder, you touch the copper braid to the molten solder and it just soaks up into the wire. So I don't have the right stuff to hand. I mean, I've bought it, I just physically don't know where it is. So I'm just using a kind of fat multi-strand cable. You okay, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm just going to my bed now.
Night night. I'll be in a wee bit. Right, so let's get that twisted. And I forgot what scene I'm on. So I'll have a wee look. We're in instruction manual scene. And so let's go back to ceiling cam zoom. Pew! and see if we can just use this as a solder braid to suck out some of this solder. So I've got a wee bit here just with slightly too much solder. And you know what, I think I've just fixed it. I think we're good. Really difficult to inspect this with my terrible eyesight. Boy, that looks good. They're not touching. Everything looks good here. So just a couple more bits to solder in and then we're good. I'll need to give it a right visual inspection before I plug it in. Man, this solder iron definitely, I think, needs a new tip. It's getting a wee bit covered in carbon. And remember, you need to keep your tip tinned in it. We all know that. Keep your tip clean. Cool, and then we need to solder this boy here and really try and not leave anything missing because there's a lot of wee footery bits in this. And as I said, my eyesight humming. Okay, and then on here, I think that one's quite happy. And on here, and on there, and on there. Is that us? I think that's everything. Have I missed any? Maybe we could add a wee bit more on that bit. Okay. Okay. That's there. That's there. Yep. Oh, these wee bits up here, I've missed these wee bits. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I keep finding more wee bits. And I've missed it. Yep, here it is. I think that's a successful bit of soldering. Let me go back and I'm going to have a look. So every single solder point should be faithfully taken care of. We have got this one up here, so it's 1, 2, 3, yep. 4, 5, 6, yep, all of them are done. 7, 8, 9, yes. 10, yes. 11, 12, 13. Beautifully soldered. 14 over here. 15 over here. 16, 17, 18. And that's us. Looks like a very good job, man. It looks very clean. I'm very, very happy with that. Let's see what the next steps are after this. Okay. Cool, so I just need a cable, just need a wire for the next bit. And that's us done. We just need to put it all back together. That's very exciting, isn't it? I wonder if there's any way for me to test this tonight. I think we need to leave testing to tomorrow, eh? But let's solder the final wire on. And I'm just going to use these so that I don't need to stand up. I think I'll go for a purple colour. I do have probably better wires over there, but these are here. And they'll do the job. Okay, so what I need to do is solder a wire from here all the way over to like here. So I'll put a cut in that there, put a cut in this here, and then, do you know what, this wire is very, very thin. I'm going to get better wire. Do I want solid core? Aye, fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, so that's going from about here to here. This is probably a bit too high gauge a wire. Although it looks like a similar gauge to what they're using. Where are my wire cutters? Fuck it, I'll just do it manually. Okay. Right. Okay, I've got a wee one end of this exposed, which is wonderful, and so that solders on here. And then after that, the next bit goes down to, man, is there another illustration? Aye, there is another illustration, good. This bit's hard to identify. So I guess these resistors can help us identify the spot. So I'm looking there, that spot. Aye, okay, the solder pad that I'm looking for here is actually quite unique. So I should be able to access it, no bother, right, that bit there. Solders onto here. And then I can go down here and solder this bit onto here, but I need to cut it to size first, and that's easy enough done by doing this. I say it's easy enough done, evidently not, Jim Bob, evidently not. There we go. And just need to remove the sleeve from this side of the cable. I'll take that off. And then I think I will put a wee bit of solder on either side of this. Let's just double check the length first. That goes there, that goes there. Do you know what, if anything the cable might be a bit too long because I don't want it to interfere with the case, so the case still needs to close. But I think we're alright. I think it would still be good though if I just took a tiny bit more off the edge of this. these. That much. Okay, let's get some solder on this sumbitch. Okay, so I've tinned this side of the wire, and then I can tin this side of the wire as well. Beautiful. And then we just need to maybe put a wee bit of solder onto this. Like that. And then I might put a wee bit of solder onto that pad there, because that's where this is going. And then attach this boy to that. Do you know, this wire here could be a wee bit shorter even, just to keep it all neat. I'm having tons of fun. And again, this could be cut off as well a wee bit. Okay, now let's solder the last wire. Okie dokie. Nearly there. Hey, job done. I think that's me. I think I need a wee sip of Coca-Cola to celebrate. Okie dokie. So that's me now done all the electronics, and all I need to do now is close up the PlayStation. That's a lot of fun, isn't it? Will we do that now? Do you have games on SD, or is that to be sorted later? It's to be sorted later on. I've no prepped SD card or anything like that, so we won't be playing games tonight, definitely. Alright, Johnny Bags, how you doing, man? You don't understand? I'm fucking about with a PlayStation, man. Welcome in, Johnny Bags. Surely this is no more breaking it than adding the first mod was. No, I just meant I was being pessimistic when I said breaking it on a Realtor, because I was worried that I was going to accidentally mess up the process that I'm doing. I haven't looked at this motherboard. You need to solder some cunt to the prick. How's it going, Johnny Bags? Welcome in. Guy also 3D printed his case and done some sort of USB-C mod. Nice one. Is that for a Game Boy? Maybe been slightly inebriated when I watched it. I'll get the entertainment of it. Right. Cheers, bye. So it'll be tomorrow before I try the SD card stuff. Audio out of sync. Audio's probably out of sync. But I can fix that. I wouldn't be surprised if audio's out of sync. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for thanking me for thanking the... Messed that up. Are we badly out of sync? I think I can fix it. If we are, let me know. In the meantime, let's close up the thing. Let's turn off the soldering iron. Obviously tin the tip first. About 200 milliseconds out. Can you test it without the card? Aye, 100%. It's a sinking ship. That's funny. Gibbs. That's funny. I'm going to go away for 4 seconds, and when I come back the sync should be a wee bit better. Stay where you are. Well, thing number 1, am I back? Thing number 2, can you hear and see me? Thing number 3, how's the sync? Fixed. Wonderful. I just had to close the thing and open it back up. Thanks for your assistance there, everybody. Right, okay, so next up what we need to do is get the box for the PlayStation, stick all this stuff in it. Johnny got scared there. Johnny's like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? I'm scared. Well, before I put it back in the PlayStation, I think I need to wreck a wee bit of the PlayStation case so that it all fits in. So I'll do that just now. What I need to do is remove... There's a wee bit on the case just here that I think I can move with some flesh cutters. Flesh cutters? Why did I say flesh cutters? What are they called? Flush cutters. They're called flush cutters, not flesh cutters. I suppose they could be flesh cutters depending on your needs. Wait a wee minute, is the thingy camera frozen? Aye, this camera. Whoa! On my monitor that looked like aluminium, and in real life it looked like plastic. It was just where it was the shine of the plastic. Flesh cutters is good. That was really trippy. Here it looked shiny, and here it didn't, and I'm like, oh. It's late, everybody. So, see this wee nubbin? There's a wee plastic nubbin here, and that'll get in the way. So what I'm going to do is use, these are now known as flesh cutters, right? I'm going to use my flesh cutters, and I'm going to double check that it's definitely that one that I need to do. Yeah, so get that as, do you know, I've got better ones. Get better, neater ones. These guys here will be better. It's good to have the right tool for the job sometimes, isn't it? I should probably be using eye protection for this. See, if you don't have eye protection, I've found a good tip is just to like kind of squint like that. And it's as good as eye protection, it really is. Any risk assessment form that you do or anything like that, so you just kind of squint. And the trick is that, like, if anything's going for your eye, just like close your eye and your eyelids will, you know, rebound off. You don't need safety glasses. God gave us eyelids. So you just sort of squint like that. See, job done, worked. Cool. Next step. Connect the flex cable to the cable holder on the QSB blue side up. I'll try and find those things. First off, we should probably put that back on. Like that, some shielding. Next up, we'll look at the underside here, and what I need to do is add the flex cable. This is the flex cable, blue side up. Flex cable, blue side up. And I'm going to put that in here. And then that sort of goes round here. Do you know, everybody, we're nearly at the end of this project. It's not going to go there. We're nearly at the very end of this project. To ensure the cable sits correctly, I've been struggling to speak today. I don't know what the deal is. To ensure that the cable sits correctly, route it through the slot on the top of the shield. Okay. So that's definitely in right. I double checked it. And then you do like this sort of setup. Okie dokie. So I'm happy there. And then we put the shield on top of this. And that goes through here. Like so. Thanks everybody for spending your Thursday evening with me. I hope you're not too wrecked at work tomorrow. And if you are, just tell your boss, listen, I was watching 10:30. And they'll understand, they'll get it. If you need me to write you a note or something, let me know. But I'm sure it'll be fine. So this doesn't go on as easy as it used to because this ribbon cable is doing a bit of business. So let's see if we can get that in just the perfect position without forcing it too much, because if I force it, yeah, there we go, that's it, it's all in alignment just now. If I forced that there, you know what I mean, it might might have snipped some stuff that I didn't want to be snipped. So now we can put this guy back on top. That's our joypad bits. And I forget what way that cable goes on. I'll tell you that. I'm assuming that way. Ah, it is. It's that way. We just push that down like that. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I'm having a wonderful time. Right. Okay. So, the printed circuit board, this bit here. Right, and let me just double check that. Aye, you can see this. So this bit here needs to sit up here, but there is like a plastic thing that will somehow act as like a spacer. Like this. Right, and then this thing somehow sits on top of that. Let's find out exactly how. Push this spacer, you're a spacer, and also that's got an orientation. Which way does that go? Does that go up like that or like that? Don't know if it matters. Put it like that. prefer that vibe. Prepare the PCB and push all 3 spacers into the X station board. You look at it from above, they can be found in the ESP upper left, upper right. Like that maybe. So some of the holes in this board go into the holes that are on this, but I can't quite figure out. So that one and that one are definitely in some holes. Definitely in some holes. I can't quite see how. I mean, eventually this thing needs to slot into this bit here, right? So let's just figure out how this interfaces. Like that. Alright. Alright. So does that go like yeah. Yeah. And that sets up like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with this. So now all I need to do is push this cable into here. So how should that? I like that. I'm really happy. Rachel thought she had to go into work tomorrow, but she can work from home, and I'm delighted because I like it when Rachel's in the house. So I'm not working tomorrow. I will be on Twitch tomorrow. So there we go. That cable is in there. That just sits there all nice like that, and we can sort of just fold that in so that it isn't causing anybody any harm. And that is a nice, neat, clean installation, and of course it's going to work first time. Of course it's going to work first time. Is that in the right position? Because we've got like 3 spots here. I think that must be in the right position. And that's just about wobbly until you put that on. Is that the script? I guess so. Aye, but with that one, that's solid. Okay. Cool, man. I think the job's a good one. So without putting screws on, I'm just going to do a dry fit in case I need to remove all of this. Once I realise that I've somehow done it wrong. Because this is the first time that I have done this mod. So I'll just sort of dry fit everything together. Like so. And then I'll put on the top. That's supposed to stick on there, but I think the adhesive ran out donks ago, and it seems to not really be causing any issues. Oh, I need to connect this bit back up. Cool, I think that's us. So everything's all a bit loose because I've not put, maybe I'll put 1 or 2 screws down. You know, those are the wrong size. It's these wee ones for the bits. Okie dokie. That's looking quite nifty. Do people say nifty? Have I just showed my age? People say nifty, people don't say nifty. So now here we go. We've got a PlayStation. The reset button isn't... reset button's aligned. The case is more or less aligned. Screws aren't in, but I don't really care about that. But here's the deal now. When I open up this PlayStation, you don't see a disk drive. You see a wee spot to insert an SD card. And look at that. Does this work? No idea. Have I completely fucked my PlayStation and permanently, irreparably damaged the full thing? No idea. No idea. But we will find out tomorrow around about 1:30. Do you know I have access to our Bitcoin? Aye, if you just send me all your Bitcoin, I'll keep a hold of it for a wee bit, man. Dolan says, Desiree just said, no it's not, this is not true. What is not true? Did Desiree spot that I've accidentally soldered something onto something else? Desiree, I think is maybe, hello Desiree by the way if you're listening. What isn't true? I wasn't paying attention. Although that was probably... Eyelids as protection, right. Oh no, it is true. I'll send you over, I've got a PDF. We won't find out today, Johnny Bags, because my house is asleep. And in order to test this, I need to plug it into a television. And in order to show you me testing this, I need to stream from my phone and take my phone into my living room and all of that sort of stuff. So you won't find out tonight if this is working or not. So sorry to potentially harm your sleep, because obviously you won't be able to fall asleep tonight knowing or not knowing whether or not my childhood PlayStation 1 is working, is not working, or has successfully been modified to be the most bestest PlayStation in the full entire world ever. We won't know. We'll find out tomorrow around about 1:30. I think it's going to work. I'll miss the reveal, but working. All the very best at work. Okay. I think I'm... Why are you moving? You're not supposed to move. Are you following me? You're following me, you cunt. See if I do that, do you stay where you are? Aye, so now you don't follow me? Good. But if I do this... I don't like it following me. Feels a bit voyeuristic, doesn't it? Hi folks, how you doing? And we're back. How's it going? Top project and tonight. I know Funkle Albert, I feel a wee bit bad that could have been like a full stream daytime project. but I just really wanted to do it because I was a wee bit excited about it, so I did it as a wee bonus nighttime stream. So fuck knows what we're going to do tomorrow on stream. Probably just moaning about Tories or something. Call Lama a cunt. Anyway. We can see your attic. Don't look at my attic, thanks. Passion Project stream. Well, hopefully all streams on this is Passion Project streams. You can see Hal isn't configured currently, but when Hal is configured, I can ask him questions and he talks back to me. I built a functional replica of HAL 9000 for 2001: A Space Odyssey, and weirdly the internet didn't care. Like, that's amazing. The internet's like, it's like, oh. Anyway, I guess AI now, everybody's just like, meh. What is Roscoe watching?
She was hungry, come
Right, it's rare that I get to raid Roscoe. We're raiding Roscoe, lads. Rare that I get to raid Roscoe. So, here goes. Listen, everybody, thanks for coming in today. I'll be back on at 1:30 tomorrow, and we are going to check out my brand new PlayStation. We're going to do a wee bit of software piracy. Maybe a wee bit of Tomorrow's World tomorrow as well. Once again, everybody, thanks very much for being in. Please keep it real, take it easy. Both those things are very important. I'm going to raid Roscoe now, but without further ado, let's do that. But first, the magic trick. That's cool, isn't it? Was I meaning to do anything else? No, I'm done. Let's go and see Roscoe. See you later. Love you, everybody. Night night. See you at 1:30 tomorrow, Scotland time. Night night.
put in the time and stood there making it. $10:30. How you doing? Guabo. How you doing, 10:30? What's happening? How's your stream? What are you up to? Are you dressed like a banana eating dog food as well? You should know by now that you before. Yes. What I'm talking about, right? The reason for this dramatic music, 10:30. I'll take you back up. I'll quickly get you back up to speed. Yesterday, Lindsay asked if I would make a certain dinner that she likes when I make. So I made it. Then we ate some of it yesterday. I put it, show the people your sword tattoo. Oh my god. You want to see this really sword tattoo? Oh. Ah. That fucking sucked. That sucked. Guano. That's good stuff, Caravan. I really like the way it makes my body feel less bare with all the tattoos up the arms now. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But listen, Father Rackett, she got to eat it last night when I made it fresh. I just put the leftovers in 2 Tupperware boxes, and then I ate one of them last night, and then I ate the other one today because I didn't want it to sit and just go off and go bad. And then she was like, no. So I ate 3/4 of it. Aye. But I made it. I went out and bought the stuff for it. And I fucking made it. So I should get to eat more than half it. No, yes, meatballs. Only 1 quart or more. Well, no, half more. How did that go? She was sad. And she did keep bringing it up, but I made her something else. I made her another dinner. I was like, alright, I'll make you something else. She did say, you're going to have to make me something else because I've got nothing in. And I was like, oh, am I? Am I going to have to make you something else, am I?
I think I'm still live, aren't I?